Hi there, and welcome to the Call to Cinema. We got some big news tonight from different companies that we're going to talk about, and then we're going to get into my Scream Factory collection that you guys wanted to see, starting with the collector's editions. But first off, let's start up with the Vinegar Syndrome news. Vinegar Syndrome announced, "Hey there, Italian Dan," announced their new package coming out. Even cooler than that, though, there's a new label that we got to look into. Hey, Death Bomb. So, Vinegar Syndrome announced their August 2020 package, and AGFA announced one as well. Hey there, Action Jackman. But what caught my attention, and I'm kind of glad it did, is that we got a brand new label kind of starting out. Hey there, Just. So have you guys seen this? And if anybody's seen it, let me know your thoughts. So right there, and I love the kind of the retro mod look to it. You can tell this is an 80s title, by the way. Just look at that. So that's Alphabet City by Fun City Editions. So Fun City Editions is a brand new label. And there's 1,500 of the slipcover edition. The soundtrack does look amazing. And the cast, too, man. Like, if you're an 80s kid, I'm an 80s kid. You got, like, Kate Vernon, Jamie Gertz, Michael Winslow, who's actually, the guy who does all the voices in Police Academy. Kenny Marino. Zora Lampert from Let's Scare Jessica to Death. So, damn. I'm kind of excited. And if Death Bomb says it's got a good soundtrack, you know it's got a good soundtrack. So I'm super excited about that. It's a 1984 release. So much like Rad, was a kind of a lost 80s release. This kind of seems like that type of thing. So apparently, I'm not sure if what Fun City are going to be focusing on. Yeah, Jamie Gertz, Lost Boys, right? That's what you think about. But it says here basically that they're going to be looking towards initial wave of titles will come from new American cinema with new restorations. Ooh, I'm excited. And basically, it's going to look at creating deluxe home video editions of Maverick repertoire cinema. So that's kind of my thing, that exists outside their own time. So you would think that, like, maybe if they'd started a while back, maybe something like Liquid Sky, Vinegar Syndrome's Liquid Sky would have been like a Fun City Edition film from the sound of what they're going with. So I'm super stoked about that. And we got one person here that's already got it pre-ordered. If I had the money, I would, because damn. Okay, what else did they do? Well, Limbo's coming out from AGFA, and I don't know a lot about that title. Hey there, Chris. But I do know a bit about one of the other titles here. So there is the Caller, which is I think it's Malcolm McDowell, if it's the one I remember. Yeah. Indecent Exposure, which I'm going to guess is an adult title. And Pandemonium, which has a fantastic, hey there, Richard, which has a fantastic looking cover. And it's been a long time since I've seen Pandemonium, but I will tell you this. Oh, yeah, you need a fantastic cover for Pandemonium. Just saying that. Are they really? Are people really So I know we can... God, this joke is not going to land on so many people, but I'm going to say it anyway. So I guess Mother didn't love him least after all. So if you don't get that reference, Pandemonium stars Tommy Smothers. And Tommy Smothers was a part of a duo called the Smothers Brothers. And they had this running, they had a show. And they'd start their show, and they'd start into a song, and then like Tommy Smothers would stop. He's the blonde one, would stop for one reason or another. The other Smothers brother was dark hair with a mustache. And he would be, and he'd like complain about something where he'd like get kind of like uppity, and you didn't know why, and it's like, and it would come along to the lines like, well, Mom always liked you best. I don't remember liking Pandemonium very much when I saw it, like, to be bluntly honest with you. This is an awesome cover. This has to be done by the guy that did the artwork for Blood Games. It has to be. Cover-wise, Honestly, Alphabet City and Pandemonium kill it for covers this month. So if there's slipcover must-haves out of this one, so if you're not subscribed to, like, and I'm not, to, I wish I was, to Vinegar Syndrome's like package, you're not getting him every month, you don't have the deep pockets to go in for the subscription, then I'd say, you know, well, if on covers alone, you, I wouldn't say it's like wacko. It's like it kind of. It's been a long time, Death Bomb, since I've seen it, so I could go into it like now loving it. But at the time I initially saw it, I was kind of disappointed. 'Cause I think Tommy Smothers plays a Mountie or something like that, and it's. I think it's an acquired taste. I think it's one that if I watched it, hey there, I'll like it. Like I won't like it the first time I watch it. I'll be kind of iffy, and like kind of like Wacko, I was kind of like iffy with Wacko at first, but then I watched Wacko again and I liked it. I had to watch Wacko like 4 times for like just to this podcast, because I was doing like I was doing a podcast on it, and a podcast you all should be listening to. That and I was just like we were just going into talking about stuff, and Wacko was one of the movies we're talking about. So if I'm going to do a podcast on a film, I usually watch that film around 5 to 6 times. I take notes, that type of thing. So did I like Wacko the first time I watched it? No. Did I like Wacko the 4th time I watched it? Yeah, I was almost like anticipating some of the jokes. And I think comedy, especially this type of comedy, works best that way. That when it can gestate, when it almost becomes like a self-group comedy, where you kind of like, you know, the beats. So my 2 picks for this month are Alphabet City and Pandemonium. A new company. So let's see how that goes. Have I ever done film canisters? I live in Canada. Film canisters, actually, and you live in the UK, so I'm guessing you haven't either, because it will cost us both a fortune to do a film canister. It's pretty pricey, hey, shipping wise. Have you ever looked into it? Because it's so pricey coming to Canada that when Vinegar Syndrome comes to Canada and does conventions, it's too pricey for them to actually bring a canister along with them. So yeah, that's I would love to do a canister because it comes in actual film canisters. Like it's not like, or like, oh look, this looks like a film canister, or it's done to make look like a film canister. No, it's put in a canister that actually carried films from different theaters, and that's bloody brilliant. And I would love to have that. That's a dream of mine. But at this point, unless I win the lotto, probably not in the near future. No, I did buy a lotto ticket. So does anybody grabbing anything of those? Like I'm gonna go into. Don't worry, I'm getting to this. You're going to 120, dude. That. Oh wait, you're in. Are you in? You're in the U.S., aren't you? I have not received mine yet. I know a few people have received theirs. Severin's website has gone back up today, actually. I was going to mention that. See, because if I get a canister, I think it's around $75 at a Canada, then that's like $75 I can't spend on titles. And that always comes, you know, that's what it always comes down to. You're done. I understand, man. It is pretty pricey there. By the way, happy Ultraman Day, because it is Ultraman Day. Did you guys know that? Mill Creek announced it. Basically, on this day in history, the Ultraman series debuted on television, and a global phenomenon was launched. So for me, even though I'm iffy on the title, I'm not iffy on the slipcover. It is Pandemonium and Alphabet City. So if I can't get them now, which I can't, they're both on my list to pick up. But if you want to get the slipcovers of those, definitely grab those soon. Especially Alphabet City, because there's only 1,500 on that. And it is the first. That's the thing that's killing me. It's the first. I wish I would have got into Vestron when they started, and I wasn't like now trying to like fill up my collection and not have to pay like a fortune, because you know Vestron here in Canada. If you're Canadian and if you ever had a Vestron title, you know, like, well, look at these. These are $20, and this one's $60. Why, Chud 2? Why are you so expensive? So, with all that being said, those covers are so sexy. I wonder if they'll ever put out, like, if they got the rights to the, I'm an 80s kid. So if they got the rights to Alphabet City, I wonder if they'll ever have the rights to, like, to put it like a soundtrack or maybe do a vinyl or work with another company for something like that. That's something to look into. All right. Hey there, Juan. Been a while. Let me take a drink. I wish this was hard liquor and not like tea, but it's tea. I could use alcohol. It's been a long day. And whiskey. Love you right back, man. Is my poison. But here we go. You guys ready? Are you ready for Scream Factory? Last time we did Scream Factory, I did the box sets. Now I have a ton to go through. And I don't even have them all over here yet. There's still some back there. But I figured we'll see how many we can get through here. And if we get through a lot, then we'll do the rest of them that are the non-slipcover editions. I got some of the non-slipcovers over here. All right, so the box set that was missing from the last video because I left it upstairs because sometimes I forget things was the Paul Naschy Collection Volume 2. I figured it was worth showing because the last time I did this, I did an air where I had you imagine that I had it in my hand. So I really like this. It's got Hunchback of the Morgue, which is a really good one. Dragonfly for Each Corpse, I love that one too. I liked all these movies. Devil's Possessed, Exorcism, and Werewolf and the Yeti. Hey, I got to say something. My better half just got Daisuke, I got it right, that's something, Daisuke, just got her favorite animated show in the mail. And it is one called Grandizer, or Goldorak in France. And the lead character in that series, has the same name as you, or as your YouTube does. And I should have no excuse for mispronouncing, because being with somebody that is a huge fan of Grandizer, I even have a T-shirt because with the Grandizer robot on it. She had a crush when she was a little girl on that animated guy, Daisuke, from the cartoon. You know, the one that's a spoiler alert. He's an alien. But if you've never seen it, she's got a really cool set, and it's actually in the Grandizer ship. So I will bring that down sometime to show you guys, because it's pretty pricey, and we got a good deal on it. I won't say how much I got it for because I don't want her to know. But it was But it has the entire series of Grandizer, which for those who watched it over there in Montreal or France, it was called Goldorak. And we also got the Mazinger films, and we already had Mazinger Z, so that was cool. We got that. We're at HMV when it was closing out, and I think Bioman is the next one that she wants to grab, because where she's from, there used to be a show that came on. You guys would love this if it was an English thing, and it was called Club Dorothy, and it had like all these anime and like and Sentai type shows on there. Anyway, just a quick aside there, let you guys know that I will be showing that in the future. And by the way, it's probably one of the coolest things we got in our collection, like hands down. Do I have the live action Boris and Natasha? Actually, I haven't even, to be honest with you, I don't remember if I got through that one totally. But that doesn't mean it's a bad film. It just means when I had it, my kids were younger, and I kind of fell asleep because I had kids, and I was dad, and I was like, yeah. So this is Paul Naschy Collection 2. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going off on tangents, but I do that sometimes because I do. This one's not in the right order because I'm watching this one later on tonight. Hey there, William. And this is the amazing Vice Squad. I was going to say Vice Academy. But Vice Squad starring Susan Hubley, Wingshauser, especially Wingshauser, and other people. Sure, Gary Swanson, yes, he's a good guy. But this is a Wings Hauser movie. This is totally Wings Hauser. If you've seen Tear in the Aisle, for instance, which, by the way, is on the Halloween 2 disc, but it's coming out on its own disc from Scream Factory, then for some reason, this is not a horror film. This is in no way a horror film. I guess maybe we're going to call this psychological thriller. Oh, do you really? Do you know how much those things are, like, just an aside again, anybody that's ever collected any Grandizer or Mazinger stuff, it's probably one of the most expensive things you can collect. Even like the little figures can cost $200 to $300. But yeah, so there's clips from Vice Squad in Tear in the Aisle. So the upcoming Tear, if you don't have Tear in the Aisles and you're looking at getting the one that's coming from Scream Factory, there will be clips of this movie in there. And it will have Wings Hauser going full-on psychopath, which he does in that film, because he plays an Elvis obsessed. Isn't it amazing that you say $50 and that's like cheap for that? He plays an Elvis obsessed pimp. That there's a scene where he's knocking on the door where he's like, come on, let me in. I'm not going to hurt you. But in Wings Hauser over the top fashion, not in my laid back Canadian fashion. All right. Assault on Precinct 13. This is the original. I love this cover. Actually, I love this cover. Look at this. Look how gorgeous this looks. It's like something out of a 70s comic book. So if you ever like read any of those like 70s like black and white comic books, maybe like the Kung Fu comics or some of the the Tomb of Dracula, stuff like that. It has that kind of look and that kind of feel to it, one of those 70s comic books. Or maybe even like a creepier and eerie. I'm showing my age tonight. I'm really showing my age. But Assault on Precinct 13 is an excellent film. If you've not seen this, you really should. It's truly a great Carpenter film. And I really love this one. This one gets a lot of rewatches. It's a cop film, but it's a Western. It's really a Western. You got the steelbook of this one? John Steele has the steel of this. That's me, John, making a dad joke, because still a dad. It's hard to imagine that there was one point in my life when I was going to go into comedy. Crisis averted. I dodged a bullet right there. All right, so the next up is one of their more modern films, but it's probably my favorite, one of my favorites out of their modern releases, because they do some of those IFC films and that. But this one here is a Larry Fessenden film, and I'm a big Larry Fessenden fan, even though I don't have the box set that they put out. But this is Beneath, and I love this movie. I went in like, okay, it's a killer fish type of movie. It's the feel of the film is very much like, you remember The Raft, like the part of like Creepshow 2, where basically they're all trapped on a raft and there's this like killer oil sludge type of thing, and they can't get in. So this here has that feel to it. So if you've ever seen that, but more bleak and more suspenseful, this is actually a really suspenseful film made on a very low budget. It's a cheesy looking creature, but I think the creature still looks good for definitely for the budget they had to spend on it. But I personally found this very suspenseful. I like the cast. I love the way this movie was done, and I would 100% recommend this one if you don't have it in your collection. If you're just grabbing the classic stuff and maybe you haven't picked up any of the newer stuff, this is one of the ones that I do recommend that you pick up. Christine, yes, it is. It is a practical creature. This is not a CGI creature. I'm pretty sure it's not a CGI creature. Fractured Effects did it, right? Yeah, Fractured Effects. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure as far as that the creature is practical. That's why it looks so kind of like, cool and cheesy. But I recommend it. If you haven't seen it, Christine, definitely check it out. Hey there, Amy. We just did Beneath with Larry Fessenden. We're doing Scream Factory tonight. And new Vinegar Syndrome stuff and new label. Hey, Dungeon. New label out. And that's got me excited. Because it's starting out with an 80s film. And I love 80s films. Next up is Body Bags. And this has a gorgeous cover. This was meant to be like a series. So it was going to be a series like Tales from the Dark Side. But only the pilot was ever done. They never picked it up for a series. And it was going to be like a... I don't actually... This is out of print? Okay, John Steele. If you know the ones out of print, let me know as we go through, because I have no idea. Because I've always wondered. I'm always curious about which ones go to print. I know they have ones that go to print like more randomly now, but I don't keep up with it. Yes, this is the one with Mark Hamill. He does a really good job in this one, actually. The third story is Mark Hamill. The first story is very tied to... yes, I'm definitely getting the 13 Ghosts. It's a really good one. I like 13 Ghosts. The first one is very tied to Haddonfield. So there's kind of like a Halloween type of feel, and even the type of story it is kind of Halloweenish. The second story is a comedic story, and it is and it has where's Stacy Keach, I think Stacy Keach with the hair. That's a really good one. And then the third story, Mark Hamill, is like definitely the creepiest, most intense story out of them all. There's most intensity when it gets to the Hamill story, and he's such an amazing actor. Next up, we have Bubba Hotep, which actually is exclusive to the U.S. But somebody ordered it at HMV once, and they didn't come and get it. Hey there, Red Raven. Welcome, man. If you're new here, let everybody know you're new so that they can welcome you to the cult for the first time. So he didn't pick it up, and after like 2 weeks of somebody not picking something up, they put it out, and I saw this, and I grabbed it up right away. It was dreamy. You found a place to eat dreamy? It's dreamy and Titus too, right? Did you like Titus? I like Titus a lot, by the way. This is a really fun movie. There's actually a comic book like sequel to this. I think comic book sequel. You guys know I love Don Coscarelli stuff. Just never came to the live. Well, welcome to the live streams, man. By the way, I don't get back to a lot of comments in the comment section like right away. So sometimes it takes me a couple weeks, but I do try and get back to them in some way when I'm going live. So just so you know, so I never ignore comments. I usually kind of thumbs them up to let you guys know that I've seen them, and that means I'm going to try and like answer the questions in my comments. What do I think of the Chucky TV series? I haven't seen the preview yet. I know there's one out there, but I'm excited about it. It's the original guy doing Chucky, and I love Chucky, so. They put out some amazing stuff, including this one here. This is Candyman, and I'm a huge fan of Candyman. We had like a girl in here yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Like named Vicky, I think. Well, she was a newcomer, and this was her favorite out of these. So anybody else love Candyman? I liked it. Bubba Hotep was one of those that really, that could have went either way. It could have been really bad or really good, but it was really good in my opinion, because, and like in all honesty, because of like the people behind it. Chris, this is your first horror film? I feel so old, Christine. But yeah, it's a good start. It was a good. If this was your first one, that's a damn good start, man. You and your boyfriend come on here, and I'm so much older than you guys. I feel ancient. All right, I'm waiting for the chat thing to come up here because I don't want to like look down and miss conversations. But all I'm getting are ads. That's what people say when they watch my videos and they're not live. Gonna try again. Meanwhile, I'm gonna get some more Scream Factories because shag it, I am not waiting. I'll see your comments up there. If I missed anything, I do apologize. Tony Todd did play the role perfectly. See? Now we got it. You're a Super Sentai fan, Red Raven? then you got extra cool points from me because I don't get a lot of Super Sentai fans on here. And I'm a huge, as you guys know, I'm a huge Super Sentai fan. AME, that is such a sexy set. And it's going to look fantastic next to that Friday 13th set. You know it is. You know it is. The Amazon.ca edition of Friday the 13th, the allotted amount that they get in, already sold out. Where should you start with Ultraman? Well, it depends. One, see, there's two places that you can start. You can start with Ultra Q. There is no Ultraman on Ultra Q, by the way. Ultra Q is like a series before. It kind of like establishes, like shows the monsters. It's more of like kind of sort of anthology based. And then in the Ultraman, the next series that comes up after that, that's when you first start to see, you really get to see the Ultraman character. And it'll start, what would be the legacy of Ultraman family characters. So you can start with Ultra Q. It's a fun little series. Just don't expect to see like Ultraman and Ultra Q, but it is part of the franchise. But if you just want to get right into the Ultraman goodness, then start with Ultraman, and you can go back with Ultra Q and get later. But I think Ultra Q is definitely more serious and more grittier. Kind of like when you watch the first season of The Adventures of Superman, the 50s version of Superman, and you realize that it's so much more grittier and film noir-esque than the later color seasons. I know that's kind of like a big leap there, but just thought I'd put that in. Hopefully that answers your question. Carrie, I'm a huge Brian De Palma fan. It definitely is. Like, I didn't know Death Bomb is a Sentai fan too. Return is kind of like Return of Ultraman is kind of like if you're a James Bond fan. Return of Ultraman is sort of like Goldfinger, in that there's seasons before it that are getting things all together, and Return of Ultraman is kind of like Goldfinger, in that like everything kind of comes together and it clicks its formula. So you get like, but I'd say get in before Return of Ultraman, just to get the early stuff, because in Ultraman the monsters are as important as the Ultraman character, very much so. Like in a lot of the shows, like Kamen Rider, stuff like that, the monsters become like characters of importance too. So this is, and I love this edition. Just look at this cover. Isn't this not amazing? I love this cover. Some people gave grief to that cover. Those are not nice people, because it's an awesome cover. This is Cat People, which is in the cat book. First Day, New Tongue, which has Natasha Kinski and Malcolm McDowell, and of course Annette O'Toole in this as well. I was in love with Natasha Kinski and Annette O'Toole, so this was the perfect film for me. I saw this film in the theater. I was way too young to see this film in the theater, by the way, because this was 1982. So I was pretty young in 1982. I was like 11. And I saw this in theater. No wonder puberty came early for Aaron. But if you've never seen Cat People, it is a fantastic film, and it is a worthy successor to the original Cat People. And you got not just an incredible cast, but it's a Paul Schrader film. Is it like Valun? It's different. It's its own thing. It's definitely lives up to the name of the Val Lewton produced the films, but it's definitely lives up to the kind of the Lewton legacy. You got Paul Schrader, like one of the great film directors, one of the great unheralded film directors, directing this here, and a fantastic score by Mordor on here. What's it, Giorgio Moroder? Oh yeah, Paul Schrader directed this. One of the the kings of like the synth, Giorgio. Death Bombino, he knows his music stuff. This is his music is literally his bread and butter. Check out his website, by the way. Has a fantastic score in it. You remember the score for Cat People. I would love to have the vinyl for that, actually. If there is a vinyl out there, I'm not aware. I don't collect vinyls yet because we're moving, and my record player is probably not going to make it through the move because I need a new needle, so I'm probably just going to buy a record player over in Morocco. Or probably I'll get one in London and just import it over. Schrader's your favorite filmmaker. Then Chaos. I'm guessing you like cat people. Somebody get more or door. Thank you. See, at least once I will pronounce a name wrong. If I do, don't let me don't give me a pass. Let me know. This is how I learn. It's like a kid, and he's coming close to a stove or something like that, and you know it's turned on. He looks like he's going to touch it. You might want to let me burn myself, but teach me. I'm here to learn. So Child's Play next, and there's a Child's Play TV series coming out. Actually, I really like this. I love the cover on this one here. Screen Factory gets like ragged on for a lot of their covers, but like some of them are excellent. And I will be honest when I show you one here that's not that I think is subpar, but this one isn't. Did you like the work? Did you like the and was it in REM, the Daft Punk song where they used them, where they had them into it? Yep, there's a Child's Play TV series coming out, Red Raven. They actually did a teaser trailer apparently for it. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen on different social media that they've mentioned it. I love this artwork right here. Look at this artwork for Child's Play. I would have to look back. Did he do Mosquito Coast? I don't know if he did. Like it's one that I saw and I didn't know it was him, which is very much a possibility. Okay, next up is a favorite of mine. I watch this movie a lot, actually. I like revenge films. I'm a big revenge film fan. And this is a bleak one. Oh, thanks, Cass. But it's a good one. It's a really good one. So you got Perry King in Class of 1984. It's all come together, Kobe. See, that's it. Now this is kismet. This is now you're knowing that you're ordering that Friday the 13th one was the right decision. So this Class of 1984. Again, it does get super intense, and it starts out pretty easy. Like you got like early Michael J. Fox in this one here. Who's in this? Roddy McDowall, right? Roddy McDowall's the teacher in this one. Like it's Perry King's the main teacher, but Roddy McDowall's the teacher that you remember. Am I thinking of the right one? I'm not. Yes, I am. Okay, good. Because Roddy McDowall plays like this teacher, and he's trying to do good, and he's getting like, he's a teacher like a lot of teachers. Here's why you don't want teachers to have guns in schools. Watch this movie, and you'll know exactly why teachers should not have guns in schools. Roddy McDowall's character in the film, spoiler alert, suffers a breakdown when he's teaching a class. And in one of the best scenes in the film, he is in there and he's got a gun. He's brought a gun into the classroom, and he's holding it on the class, and he's like, he wants them so bad. He wants to teach them. He wants them to learn and to get something right and to answer a question and not to mouth off and not to do, but to learn. And this is an amazing film for that. Another amazing film which has teachers in it is Teachers. And Teachers, unfortunately, has not gotten a good release yet. It is an incredible film starring Nick Nolte that has a great soundtrack and a fantastic opening, a fantastic like theme song by 38 Special. And if you've never seen it, I definitely recommend it. We started talking about the brand new company coming out of Vinegar Syndrome and Alphabet City, and that got me like on an 80s kick in the back of my mind. So that's what that bit too. Rainbird and Firestarter. He does actually play Rainbird and Firestarter too, which I forgot about actually. And I do have the movie over there. It's been a long time since I've seen it though. That's like a miniseries, right? That's an old. Yeah, I remember seeing it back in the day. Rough Macho was in too from Karate Kid. And it's also the film with the girl like kind of to prove a point to him, like she's not totally stuck up, and she's not like a shill for like for the school board. She walks naked through the school. You have to see the film. Hey, some eight. Cockneys versus Zombies. This is actually a really good film. It gets unfairly like compared to Shaun of the Dead, which it shouldn't, because it's a different. Aside from having zombies in it, it's a very different movie than Shaun of the Dead. One of the neat things that I actually like about this film is that it has a fantastic cast, including Honor Blackman and Michelle Ryan, who I'm pretty sure was in these EastEnders, right? Anybody here from the UK that won't mind admitting that they watched EastEnders before? Wasn't Michelle Ryan like one of the Slaters, like the youngest Slater? Nobody here's going to admit that they've ever seen EastEnders? Well, I've seen EastEnders, and I'll admit that I watched it. But yeah, Cockneys versus Zombies. Really cool film. Some of us are slightly more honest. Next up is one that the one that didn't fall on the floor. Okay, that actually came to my Walmart. A Scream Factory that came to Walmart. Who would have thunk it, hey? I know some people are saying, well, I'm getting Starman at my Walmart. Didn't come here. But this is Cyborg. This did come here. And this, I have no idea why this is Scream Factory. It's kind of more of a Shout Factory title. Maybe this is Shout Factory. No, it is Scream Factory. Never seen it. So, you know, if I said if I said Duff Duff, you wouldn't know at all what that pertains to. This is actually a really fun film. Do I have the thing Scream Factory? I don't actually. I've got the thing from the Arrow Video Edition. I never grabbed the Scream Factory one. Oh yes, actually, this is actually pretty good. What's his name in it? Mateus? You know him when you see him because he's got these really freaky eyes. And he's in this film. So basically, this for me, this is one of Van Damme's like best films. I really, really like this one. So if you like Van Damme and you like post-apocalyptic style films and stuff like that, like this for me is like this is key work for him. There's a really cool sequence where he like stabs a guy through the head like when he's doing the split thing. It's really cool. I love that scene and I always remember it. And I love this cover. Look at this cover, man. How can you not want this cover? I didn't switch this one over. What was the cover like on the other side? I'm kind of curious now. Your favorite is Sudden Death? Which one is Sudden Death? I'm trying to remember right now. I know I got it. Oh, that's right though. Gibson, Fender, which is kind of fun. And of course, this is an earlier artwork. I do like it. This is Darkman. Not as polished as some of the later stuff, but ironically, I went to art school for a while. I'm not an artist, just so you know. Don't ever expect me to draw anything. The fact that I went there is almost like an anomaly. So, but when I went to art school, one of the characters that I drew for my because you got to do like a portfolio was Darkman actually. Reminds you of Watchmen? Yeah, I can see that actually. This is a fun film. This is such a fun film. Me and Dungeon think alike. I can get through these fairly fast, so I'll probably be able to get some more of these afterwards. I don't have my well, I kind of got my confirmation, but I got mine from from Amazon. So, you know, confirmation right away, but you hope you get it because it's Amazon and they oversell sometimes. Alex Coxner's Dark, that I'd like to see. Okay, next up is Day of the Dead. This is a really cool early one. This actually has a full, I think this has their first feature-length documentary that they ever put on any disc. There might be. Like, but it's as far as I remember anyway. Day of the Dead. This is one of my favorite Romero like zombie films. I'm a huge Day of the Dead fan, and the more I watch it, the more I actually like it. Alex Cox is such a good interview. And here you got the lead zombie right there. For those that forgot. And then we have Dead Souls. Has anybody here seen Dead Souls? This is one of the chiller movies put out from IFC. There's a reason I'm asking. So I bought this one at a movie store that was closing out. You can still see the tag out there from the rental thing. And I have not watched it yet. I just haven't got around to it. Is it good? So it's one horror movie I enjoy but hate at the same time. You mean like hate watching? I don't know. Maybe Things, which I actually really love, but it's a horrible film, and my brain hates me every time I watch it. So I'll go with Things. It's both horrible and good at the very same time. Never heard of it? Yeah, there's probably a reason for that, but it was cheap. So it was like a $5 Scream Factory. You don't get $5 Scream Factories very often, so that's a good one. One of the great Scream Factories that everybody should own. I hope this one's still in print. I don't know if it is, but if you can find it, grab it. It is hands down one of the best things they put out, and this is Dolls. Dolls is a fantastic film. It is an Empire Pictures film. This is pre Full Moon. And it is directed by Stuart Gordon. It is, I said a print. But if you don't have this one and you can grab it, grab one. Look at this cover. This is one of the what I call the sexy Scream Factory covers. You like put that with Cabin in the Woods, so you got it, but you never actually sat down and watched it, or? Yes, actually. See, there's this here. See this? This is reference to a scene in the film. Now, if you're a music person, if you're an 80s music person, specifically, and you remember a group called Aha, who did the song Take On Me. Everybody remember that video? It had like kind of a cool video where the lead singer of Aha would like fall into this comic book. Oh, it's definitely better than Dolly Dearest. Dolly Dearest is fun. This is amazing. All right, so Tommy, the lead girl in the Take On Me video, the blonde curly-haired girl, kind of looks a bit like the girl from Nightmare on Elm Street, like Tina character. Anyway, so she is in this. She is one of the characters in this film. Her and her girlfriend, well, they're girls hanging out together. They hitch a ride with the nice guy, and her character is the character that ends up with her eyes out. So if you're an Aha fan and you didn't know that it's the girl from Take On Me, next time you watch this movie, just keep an eye out for her, because she will keep an eye out in the film. Not even trying anymore. The Aha singer, he's got an amazing vocal range. He's a classically trained opera singer, the lead singer of Aha, and his vocal range is incredible. It's insane. All right, this is one I got. Did this one get? I don't think this one was right. Anyway, Dreamscape. I saw this movie in the theater. I love this film. The snake monster scared the crap out of me as a kid. Like, it's such a simple, silly little practical effect now. But even to this day, when I watch this movie and the snake monster thing comes in this film, I remember the way that creeped me out on TV. Like when in the theater, and then I rented it, and I would be like, I know the snake monster scene is coming. I know the snake monster scene is coming, and it would always freak me out. It's still to this day. It gives me that kind of chill, and it's such, it just seems silly now, but it does. It freaks me out. Snake Monster, Dreamscape. Definitely check it out. Do I have a 4K collection? I actually do. and I'd done a 4K video a while back, but I'll do another one eventually. Yes, you do. You need to get this one. It's fun, and there's some good features on here as well. They actually interviewed Dennis Quaid on here. Now Eddie Albert's president, yeah, he would be a decent president actually. Uh, but you know what? What's kind of super cool about this is that I forgot what I was going to say. I totally did. I had something. I was going to say it. It's going to be super clever and super smart, but I forgot it. All right. Escape from New York. Everybody's got this one. It is, it's a Scream Factory staple. It's one that everybody grabbed when it came out. Obviously, it's a classic Carpenter film. It's action. It's fun. It's one of those you can turn on anytime. Like I mentioned like RoboCop, and I watch RoboCop, and I can like sit back and I can watch RoboCop, like turn it on any day and just start watching it. I don't need any kind of prepping. I don't have to be in any sort of mood. I can just turn it on. Same with Escape from New York. I can just turn that on anytime because it's just a fun film. Okay, here's one that I love. Not everybody loves it, but I actually do, and that is Escape from LA. It's fun. I mean, it's a movie that knows what it is, Tommy. It's a cheesy movie that's over the top, and at the time that it came out, people expected more of like, okay, like this straightforward, serious sequel to Escape from New York. So they had like kind of high expectations for the film. I do think that now, however, like coming out on Scream Factory, that type of thing, that people, I am so jealous because I would love to meet Adrienne Barbeau. I don't know if I'd be able to speak, but I love to meet Adrienne Barbeau. She was a fantasy of mine when I was young. But Escape from LA is a movie that I think will get the cult following that it deserves because people are going to start to realize that it was a very self-aware film. It's a very fun film. And that's my thoughts on Escape from LA. I like it. Death Bomb, let me know what you think when you get yours from me. The Exorcist 3, incredible film. You think that scene in Swamp Thing, that uncut scene, in the European edition of Swamp Thing. But that must have been an awkward set to go on, like The Fog with Jamie Lee Curtis, because at the time John Carpenter had been dating Deborah Hill during Halloween. Not a problem. Ask questions anytime. And all of a sudden, Jamie Lee Curtis comes back to do The Fog, right? And all of a sudden, like John Carpenter's dating Adrienne Barbeau, lucky guy, both with Deborah Hill and Adrienne Barbeau, both beautiful ladies. And she's coming back, and the mom and dad of the last film are split up. So, really, there's a really cool, creepy sequence in this film that I won't tell you about, but everybody that's seen the movie, you know what the scene is. Firestarter. Alan mentioned part 2. This is the original Firestarter. And I was kind of worried when I got this one because I saw this one in theater and I'd only seen it a couple times afterwards. And I was kind of wondering, like, some movies when you watch when you're younger, are they going to stand the test of time? Are they still going to be good like they were back in the day when you watch them? Or are they going to kind of seem like a pale version of what you originally saw? Firestarter still works for me. It really does. And a lot of it is like because of Drew Barrymore and George C. Scott. They play off of each other really well. Do I have Hell Comes to Frogtown? I have Richard. Not only do I have it, but I got the original Arrow edition of it. The one of the limited 1,000 with the booklet before they reissued it without the booklet and the cover. So I actually I'm very proud of that. My better half got it for me for my birthday one year, and she paid a pretty penny for it too. Hey Vince, welcome, man. This is your first time on the live stream? Then welcome to the cult, man. And this is a great cover. Look at this cover. That's the thing. That's the neat thing about it. There's a lot that I've forgotten about the film. The only thing I remembered, and I guess it's one of those classic scenes in the film, is when Rainbird is talking to Martin Sheen's character, and he said, "I'm going to become her friend." He said, I'm going to become her friend. I'm going to become Rainbird, and I'm going to be her friend. I'm going to be the kindly guy. And when she's there, and when she's at her happiest, I'm going to strike her right right in the bridge of the nose and back into her brain. Like that's my gift. It's kind of my gift to her. It's an amazing scene. That's just paraphrasing. There's a lot more to it, and it's way better acted when George C. Scott does it. All right, so From Beyond, not one of my favorite covers. That's because it's George C. Scott. Well, I think he might have some native. I'm not sure if he does or not. Do I look native to you? Just wondering, because I'm native Canadian. A lot of people don't know that because I'm not. I don't outwardly look it, except maybe certain features. Need it from beyond. Am I part Eskimo? Yes, I am too. Well, Inuit's what it's called now. I guess is what to say. But yes, I am. I'm part. But I'm part like I'm Mi'kmaq on my mother's side, and I am Inuit on my father's side, and I am super white like all around. But yes, I am actually very mixed. I love this film. When I got to meet, because this is one of the people I did get to meet was Jeffrey Combs. I would love to meet Barbara Crampton, by the way. You think? Oh, thank you. See, I said that to Jeffrey Combs. I met Jeffrey Combs at a convention, and this is my favorite like of Combs films. I know Reanimator's most is pretty much almost everybody's, but for me, this is the one. This is the one that I really got into. And you know what he said? He said, really? He said, like, because I'm paraphrasing him now. So I thought I was miscast. He said, I thought that Bruce Abbott should have got my role in From Beyond, and that he was a better choice for this than I was. But they wanted him for it, and he always thought that Bruce Abbott would have done a better job. But I thought he did great, and From Beyond has always been a favorite of mine. And meeting Jeffrey Combs was the only time that this very talkative person was pretty quiet initially, because I kind of got nervous. I fanboyed a bit, and I've met Stan Lee and Adam West and Wim Shatner and Patrick Stewart, and I haven't fanboyed, but I did. Well, Stan Lee I did, but I did when I met Jeffrey Combs. I think the best way Lovecraft has been done, and it wasn't Lovecraft, Action Jackman, is still for me, and I will go on this one, is Mouth of Madness. Not a Lovecraft story, but it really, really gets the feel of Lovecraft. Stan Lee was amazing. We got our picture taken with him, me and my better half, and the only thing we could both say when we went there, we looked at him, he was our childhood, he created our childhood, and we just said, oh, thank you. That was pretty much it. I wish I could have had more to say, or it could have been more witty, or talk to him like longer when I talked to Gunnar Hansen. But no, with Stanley, it was just thank you. And I feel very blessed that I got to meet him. Ginger Snaps, a fantastic horror film. This is a Canadian one, Canucksploitation, guys, and it has the very lovely Catherine Isabel, who's done many horror films after this, including American Mary, right? Shadow at a Time. See, I love it. I just love in the Mouth of Madness. Yeah, the Japanese. Oh, I love the Japanese Spider-Man. It's so dark too. I would love to see Ginger Snaps 2 and 3 put out on Blu-ray from Scream Factory, even if they did them as a double feature with like some features for each of the films, because they deserve it. Like really, Ginger Snaps 2 especially. Ginger Snaps 2 is set in this like I guess an asylum is what you call it, but it's really good. I love the ending to Ginger Snaps 2. I love the twist in that one. Next up are the 2 very first Scream Factories that were ever put out. Does everybody remember what the first 2 Scream Factories that came out were? It's pretty easy, actually. I'm going to let somebody shout it up before I show them. I actually got them at Best Buy. And I was surprised because I looked all over for them. And Best Buy was one that had them. So the very first Scream Factory that came out was Halloween 2 and 3. Right, exactly. Uh, so this was there right alongside the part 3. I bought them both at the same time. Of course, I have the big box set of the Halloween films now, but I would still never get rid of these because these are the OG original 2 Scream Factories. Not only that, but oh yeah, they were the first. But I still have the original sticker. I know that's a silly thing, but as a collector, that's a big thing for me. I actually really like Halloween 2. Even though like it's got one of my least favorite things about the whole Halloween series. I hate the family thing, but when they go with it, like I'm like go all in, and like because I like part 4. I just hate that they did that because it seemed to make them less scary because it gave them a reason for killing people, and I didn't want them to have a reason. I wanted them to be like the boogeyman because that's literally like that's the the definition, the stamp at the end of Halloween is basically you know it's this faceless killer that's just stalking and killing all her friends, and she's like, was that the boogeyman? As a matter of fact, it was, and you're like, yeah, that's really creepy. Was that the boogeyman? As a matter of fact, it was your brother, and he's chasing after you and your friends because you killed your sister when you were really young and you don't remember it. Yet you went into the asylum and saw him and had flashbacks. Oh, did I like Rob Zombie's Halloween? I really didn't when I initially saw it. I still don't like the second one, but I do like parts of the first one. And I do think that I still need to give it, I'm still going to give it another chance. I always think that there's something that I'm not seeing, but I know it has a loyal fan base, and I take nothing away from the film. It's not my type of Halloween. This, however, is, and I still have the sticker. I know I'm a geek, but look at that. It's got a silver shamrock sticker. I love Lords of Salem. That's my favorite, right? That's the thing with me. Like for like a Friday the 13th, yes, Jason's got like there's a motive already put in there. Theatrical. No, because the uncut version is there's a scene in the uncut version that I really don't like, and it's the escape sequence. Um, it just wasn't needed. Like and because the one good thing I will definitely say about the theatrical version of Friday of Halloween's Rob Zombie's Halloween is the escape sequence in the theatrical version is actually really good and really intense, and I liked it a lot, and I like seeing Leslie Easterbrook come in, and the way he's a beast and he escapes. That makes sense. I'll say the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I wasn't a big fan. See, I can watch that one. I can see the love for Nightmare on Elm Street in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Yeah, it's. I think it's lazy. When you're making a movie called Nightmare on Elm Street, and there's so many things you can do nowadays with the dream world, and it's like, and Freddy slits the throat, then you're like, you're not even trying. Okay, this is one of the great slasher films. Here, this is my opinion, that not enough people talk about. See, I don't mind CGI being in a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie as long as it's well used. Like I would like a combination of special effects and CGI if they're going to do it, because you're in a dream world, so I understand that. But but use it well and be creative with it. Don't just have like don't be lazy. But this is Hell Night. This is a really really good slasher film. It's some people find it kind of slow. I actually find that this is an excellent one. Was I the one that recommended to you? Chris, see, I got good recommendations, right? The beautiful Linda Blair. She was actually 18 or 19 there. I remember her in Savage Streets. Just saying. What's really good about this one is, aside from being a really good film, what's really neat is this film here has some great sequences in it. that that are some great special features on here. Pretty much everybody that's around is interviewed. Like most of the cast is interviewed in Hell from on this disc. Most of the cast. This one was going to be was kind of like held back for a bit. Like right now, Event Horizon is being held back for a bit, right? So it's not coming to January, I think, or later in the year anyway. I think it's January. But Hell Knight was another one that was held back by a month or two. But when it came out, it had so many extra special features on it, it was worth the wait. And Hell Knight's a great one. If you don't have it, guys, pick up Hell Knight. Because I know this one's not out of print. Also, I was asked before if I was going to get 13 Ghosts, and I said the answer is definitely yes, because I do like that film. It's kind of cheesy fun. House on Haunted Hill. Another one that I really enjoyed. And the you got Jeffrey Rush in here, and he's looking like Vincent Price, kind of doing a Vincent Price meets John Waters type of thing. And it's really cool. I love this film, actually. It's got a great cast in it. And it was one of the Ghost House productions. And eventually all of those are going to come out on screen. You know they are. They're releasing all of them anyway. And speak of the devil, here it is right here in the Mouth of Madness. This is brilliant. If you're a fan of H.P. Lovecraft, if you like the writings of Lovecraft, and you kind of felt like Lovecraft hasn't been done well in film, well, here he has been. Is this Lovecraft? No, it's not officially a Lovecraft story, but it has the feel of Lovecraft. I actually got to rewatch the Return to House on Haunted Hill, because when I saw that one, Chris, I was sick. So to say that I don't like it would be me kind of like, wouldn't be fair. Who was in that one? Is Taye Diggs or something like that? Is in that one? I can't remember. All right, the next two are kind of controversial. I got them for $1 though. So that's where I'll go with this one, and I'm probably not going to talk about these films very much. The artwork on these are very good. I am not a fan of the director. Do you know what the films are going to be? Without me, because I'm gonna pussyfoot around these films because I really don't like the director, and I actually really don't like the second film at all. I think it's badly made, but I got them for $1 each at H&V when they're closing out, so I'm a completist. That's my excuse, which is not, so. You know it, Chaos. So here it is, the first one, which I actually did like, and I would like to see this series go on with another director, another creative force behind it. If anybody was like, well, that was thinking before, well, it's how can it go on with the creative force? If you saw part 3, you know it can. I do. I mean, like, look at what, what he did. And I'm not a person that's gonna like say, okay, what you did, like at such and such time, is something that stamps you for life. Except this. This is big. Yeah. I even feel awkward, and these are great looking covers. Look at those. That's great looking cover. There's an awkwardness, and you can tell it. It just comes over me when I go to talk about it, because it's the best person. Watch Dr. Whitfield's videos on that. Really, really well done, by the way. But there you go. That's my little awkward tap dance about those films. Okay, now back to your normally scheduled programming. Lake Placid. I saw this in theater actually, and it was fun. It was a really fun film. Betty White. Go. Oh, it's not Canadian. No, 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 no. And this being said, if somebody is a fan of those films, I have no judginess to somebody and what films that they like. But no, I'm not. That ain't me. I'm not gonna do that to somebody. Yeah, at the time when HMV had its last day, and we were one of the last HMVs to close down, was the one in St. John's, Newfoundland, where I was living at the time. And the last day, like everything that was there was a buck. Like it doesn't matter if it's like a box set or a Blu-ray or a DVD or if it was a complete series, everything there was $1 each, and it was pretty amazing. There were so many people in there. I got in there late, so I missed a lot of the big like collector's edition sets and stuff like that. But there was so much great stuff there. You guys would have loved it. Lake Placid, anyway, I love this movie. There's a Lake Placid versus like something else type of film, which I haven't seen, but I know there's. And there's a Lake Placid too, which I don't remember. Okay, this is not one of my favorite covers for Scream Factory, but it is Lords of Illusion. I actually do like this film. Do I have Dead Alive? I got like a DVD edition of Dead Alive here somewhere. It needs a new good edition, man. But I like these. This is Harry D'Amour. It's no pot store. A lot of them got turned into like Sunrise Records, but yeah, unfortunately, all of them didn't. I kind of wish that Sunrise would have did what they did in the UK, because Sunrise bought HMV in the UK, except he kept it as HMV. But over here, like they just kind of like expanded the brand. Does it really have? I didn't even know it got the blue. But like say like a new special edition Blu-ray would be cool. Wait, say, oh boy, yeah, you ain't gonna say that. D'Amour, if you've ever read The Scarlet Gospel, which was the later Clive Barker book that had like Pinhead in it and it had Harry D'Amour, that's messed up. There's another one in Toronto? Let me take a little drink here. So it is Anaconda. That's what I was going to say, Dave, but I wasn't sure if I was right or not. I like to get the Anaconda Quadrology, which came out from 88 Films, by the way. I've seen like pictures of it. It looks really sexy. It's a sexy beast it is. Weaverill's pretty good. It's a long one. Some of his stuff is just, I'm guessing you've read Barker before. Some of it's pretty messed up. So if you go into Barker and you're thinking like, it's going to be some pretty mainstream stuff. No. If by the time you get to Scarlet Gospels, by the way, everything's messed up. Kaiju film release. Eventually, I say if more people buy them, if we get like people buying the Gamera set like they bought the Godzilla set, we'll eventually see it. What's the last movie I watched? Actually, I just watched, before I came down here, the documentary When Cowboys Were King from the History Channel. I'm a big documentary fan, and I do tend to like try not to watch. Either if I'm going to review a film, I'll watch it a few times before I come down here. But if I'm going to do a collection video where I'm going to talk or something like that, and I don't want my mind to be kind of like just like on a specific film that I just watched, I'll watch the documentary, and it's kind of a buffer for me so that it kind of clears my mind, and I can actually just concentrate on what I'm doing. A little behind the scenes. Mad Max, again, great film. I remember when this came, when MGM put this out, they had like a special, yeah, there's like an Easter egg on it, you had to find it. And it showed like the different like concept cars and stuff. But I actually really love Mad Max. Oh, when I review a movie, I definitely take notes. I actually listen to podcasts. So when I come on here, I mention like Just to This podcast, I mention Pure Cinema podcast, I mention Cobwebs, I mention like a bunch of different podcasts. It's not just because, okay, I've been on this podcast or I've heard this. No, I listen to a lot of podcasts. So if I'm not watching a movie when I go to sleep, and I used to do that, but I find that then I'll get up and especially now when I go to work, right? Like go to work the next day. If I'm not going to work the next day, then I do. Again, I love this film. There's 3 of these. I love Road Warrior 2, but this is probably my favorite. Because the other one, I think, like Beyond Thunderdome, not so much. Good song. But I really wasn't into it. And the new one I loved. I did buy Neil Gaiman on story writing though, so that was pretty cool. It was like one of those like sleepaway camps. The first aid box, it was cool. I wish I had that. So this is Misery. This one actually did come to Walmart. It was a Christmas gift. I actually forgotten how much I liked this film, but it is an amazing film. And Kathy Bates is so good. James Caan is good in everything. So is Kathy Bates, but Kathy Bates really kills in this. Am I over 50? Do I look over 50? Oh my God. Now I'm feeling old. No, I'm not over 50. Not yet, dude. A couple years before I hit over 50. And the room goes silent. Motel Hell, again, a classic, a fun one. I actually forgot I had this. I wanted to watch this the other night, actually. So I got to get Motel one of these days. And it is such a cool film. I do not look 21, but thank you. Good save, though. No, I didn't. It's okay. I was at like my youngest birthday party once. And I had, at the time, because my beard does make me look older than I am. I find it does anyway. But I like my beard. Cause my beard also makes me look dead sexy, so I'm good with that too. But I had like my beard, and I hadn't had it shaved in a bit, so I had like a really mountain manish beard on. And I don't mind saying this now. And I was going to my, cause I'm divorced. But I went to like my, for like a birthday party. And the one of the little ones there was like, "Is that your granddad?" And I'm like, "Oh God, I've got to shave the beard." But yeah, I was like, it was one of those, what you get those things when you're feeling really like, yeah, and then all of a sudden, out of the mouths of babes, and you're like, okay, I was taken down a peg, but I thought it was hilarious though. Motel, anyway, great film. I'll never forget that. My Bloody Valentine. Now, this is where Scream Factory lost out. Just putting this out there. My Bloody Valentine was filmed here in Nova Scotia. For those who don't know, I'm living right now in Nova Scotia. But not only that, but it was filmed in Sydney Mines, Nova Scotia. So Valentine's Bluff in here is Sydney Mines, Nova Scotia, which, by the way, is 10 minutes away from me right now. I was going to do, before this whole thing happened in the world, do a video on the locations from this film. I reached out to Scream Factory on Twitter, told them, hey, I live right next to where this film was made. I can literally go to there and get you footage of all the places as they look now. They never got back to me. But their loss, your gain, because one of these days, hopefully, before I go to Morocco, I will be filming a video where I'm going to be going on location. You got the MGM edition. So you guys will see where, like all the places that were in the film, and I'll even show you the bar, because the bar's still there. I'm a Newfoundlander. You can tell that from my voice. See, I'm in Nova Scotia now, but I'm originally from Newfoundland, and I'm a proud Newfie. I got some of those Newfie joke books too. Quick aside, I was in St. John's, and I just moved there at the time, and me and my oldest, me and her were going around. There's a Newfoundland phrase for you, right? Going around. We were going around like to the different places. And we went into this like store, this used bookstore, and I wanted to get some of the Newfoundland joke books. And my mom actually knows the guy that made those books, that wrote them. So we went in there, and I guess the guy was very offended the fact that they're like buy Newfoundland joke books. And so I said, hi, so like, do you have any Newfoundland joke books? And he was like, and this, I no word of a lie, this is how it went. No. And if somebody was to come in here and offer us or trade in some Newfoundland joke books, I would rip the cover off of the book, put it in there, and I would toss the book aside. And I'm like, well, la-di-da, good for you. I'm from Newfoundland, and I have what's called a sense of humor. So I'd read them. So I'd be waiting for a guy to come in, and you'd go to rip that, and I'd be like, no, dude, let me rip that for you. And then I'd just take the book, because that guy, way too serious. It's only Paul Bartel. Well, I am a fan of Paul Bartel, so I'll take this as a compliment. Night of the Demons. Again, this is not one of my favorite covers, but I really love this film. Really do. And they put out an edition of this with a NECA figure of Angela, and I wish I had that, actually, because I do love NECA. But this is an incredibly cool film. It's a great film to watch around Halloween time. People really pass it. People always go, they watch, oh, we're going to watch Halloween, we'll watch all the Halloween franchise. And they forget this one. This is a great Halloween film with a wonderful wraparound, too. I love the wraparound on Night of the Demons. If you've never seen it, like, I'm not going to give it away. Okay, Richard Reel. I'm trying to remember who Richard Reel is, actually. I'd have to look him up. I have a feeling I should know what it is, and I'm going to kick myself when I look, but I'll look after. Okay, I'm a big Kelly Maroney fan, and I do like this movie right here, Night of the Comet. I will eventually. I think Paul Bartel is cooler than me, but I'll take that. Eventually, I want to review this film because, like I said, I'm an '80s kid. But there's like 3 or 4 commentaries on here, so it's going to take me a while to get around to it. Because yeah, a lot of commentaries means it takes me longer. For those, oh, by the way, for people that like say that you got to be in the right mood for it, I think, Amy. For those people that like sometimes don't get notifications on my videos, somebody let me know that they clicked on the notification bell a couple times on my videos, and they got like a message about adult content. And I think that because I do talk like horror and all that type of stuff, that YouTube is not giving notifications the way they do on some channels. So just like know that ahead of time. I do try to like put things on Instagram and on all that and Twitter just to let you guys know. Actually, I've seen the remake of My Bloody Valentine. I spoke to the writer actually on Facebook, Todd Farmer, and I told him the one thing that he missed out on was like 3D Moosehead beer should have been in there somewhere. But actually I liked it. I thought it was really fun. It was a nice throwback to the original film. I still like the original film better. It's more Canadiana, and but it's definitely a worthy remake. All right. I love these next 2 films. I have t-shirts of these next 2 films from Fright Rag, so you know I love these 2 films. So first off, there's Silent Night, Deadly Night. Naughty. So again, how can you not like this film? But the creepiest part of this film is not the killer, not even the rapey Santa Claus. You know what it is? It's the old grandfather at the beginning of this film. He is the creepiest part of this movie. And it's such a strange film. But I love it. Like there's a sequence in like after he grows up and he was working at a toy store. And anyway, I got a t-shirt of this one here, of an ad from the toy store. So you know what else I got? By the way, great features on Silent Night, Deadly Night. You gotta own it. It's not like yeah, kind of no. You gotta own it. It's really really good. But even better feature wise, and a fun film. And I have the T-shirt of this here cover. Is Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. And of course, we all know what's on the back, right, Italian Dan? Garbage Day. It's got to be on the back. It's got to be on the back. And I've mentioned this pretty much every time that I've talked about this one, and I'll say it again here, is watching the behind the scenes featurette of this as a guy that was going to go in acting. It broke my heart a little bit. And because the actor here, the star of the film is Eric Freeman. And he had no idea this was going to become a memed film or going to be made fun of online. He was doing the best that he could with the script that he had at the time. If you want to see Eric Freeman in another film, by the way, Vinegar Syndrome put out a double feature called Murder Weapon and Deadly something. Anyway, Eric Freeman's in it. It's a Linnea Quigley double feature. But there's a sequence where he's talking and he's going around and says, yeah, and so I eventually got to, understood it and that type of thing. But I was an actor and I had dreams. And this kind of killed him. He was an actor and he had dreams. He had aspirations. And as a guy that was going in acting, my heart broke a bit. It really did. Because I understand. It's fun and funny and cool and cheesy for us right now, but for some people, and maybe some people that never truly got over the fact that it changed his career, like for better or worse, for worse initially, maybe better now because like it's more well known, but yeah, I can't imagine like it's the greatest thing. It's like being like some people can do like can roll with it a lot, like the guy from Troll 2. We went to a bunch of conventions. He really ate it up. He's a dentist, and he's like, oh, we'll get back to acting a bit. Got the bug back, and can't piss on hospitality. That guy. But other people like this, this was their craft. This is what they did, and yeah. Anyway, bringing it down a bit, but here we go right again with Shocker. Bringing it right back up with Horace Pinker. This is a movie that screamed, we're trying to make a franchise. Look at this. This should be a franchise. Look, it's your new Nightmare on Elm Street. It really is. It's totally your new Nightmare on Elm Street. Come on. Love us. But I feel, and I do like this film, I do feel it tries too hard. It's not one of my favorite Wes Cravens, but I love Mitch Pileggi in it. Of course, we go on to do like X-Files. It's this big thing. Because we're called Chucky Endo. Well, yeah, it definitely has to. I think with a lot of his movies around this time, I'd have to look into it but I'd say like studio interference would be one thing that would cause that. And I don't think he really wanted. What's my favorite Craven? The Nightmare on Elm Street. But for me, my favorite Wes Craven. Probably Nightmare. Yeah, it's probably as boring as it sounds. It's probably Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I like a lot of his work. I love Deadly Blessing. A lot of people aren't big on that one. I actually like, and I mentioned it on here the other day. Your Soul to Take. I like that one, and a lot of people hate it. Certainly, the Rainbow is excellent. It's an amazing film, and it creeps me the hell out. But I guess, yeah, like Nightmare on Elm Street is classic. Red Eye is an excellent film too. He's such a good director and he's so eclectic, and he's missed. I would have loved to have met Wes Craven. Next up is Sleepwalkers. Speaking of Stephen King films, really love this film. I didn't understand the hate that it got back in the day. It's a movie that's basically like a day and a half, really. Hills of Eyes is fantastic, and it's a fantastic one. But I really loved this movie. Brian Krause is in this. Pre, of course, Charmed, before Charmed. And the gorgeous, super gorgeous, and still to this day, man has age been kind on her, and she gets better looking. Madge from Twin Peaks and Riverdale. She stars in this one as well. Alice Krieg, of course, who would be in a bunch of films, probably most notably Ghost Story, which is a favorite of mine. And of course, she's a Borg queen, and in the Star Trek Next Generation, the movie. Which one is that one again? But yeah, I actually like this. Anybody else like Sleepwalkers? I know it's pretty cheesy, and the effects are like, especially some of the computer effects, are not exactly the greatest by today's standards, but I still enjoy it. Shocker. Or wait a minute. And this one right here. Here's Canadian for you. Guys, this is a TV series called Slasher. For all you guys that probably watched American Horror Story and didn't catch this, this is a TV series, and every single season of it is a slasher movie done as a season. I actually super love this show. And I really want to rewatch this actually. So this is the only season they put out, and it's a shame because the other two seasons are really, really good as well. Third season tricked me with with the reveal, but the reveal on this one's super easy. If you've ever seen anybody here seen Slasher, like I'm gonna guess a lot of you guys saw it, right? Because it's been on Netflix and that too. So I'm guessing you guys have seen Slasher. Any love for this one, guys? You guys get so quiet sometimes. Now, if you're a fan of the series Supergirl, for instance, look really close. And that's Lena Luthor from Supergirl. She is the star of Slasher. It's super gory. It's super easy to guess the killer. But I'm alone with Sleepwalkers. I kind of expected that end. I'm alone with some of the stuff. What did I think of the Scream TV series? The first thing I saw of the Scream TV series, Chris, was Bella in a bikini, and I was like, "This is awesome." And but Bella Thorne in a bikini. But then I watched like the first episode, and I really didn't like the way that was being filmed initially. I'm like, I'm not gonna like this, but I'll watch the next episode. So I watched the next episode, and I'm like, I'm kind of liking this. And then I watched the third episode, and I'm really starting to like this. So I liked all seasons of Scream, the TV series. I liked the movie. I liked the third series. That's apparently a hot take. But that one, I'm gonna watch this again. I'm bringing this upstairs. But I really enjoyed the Scream TV series. I do need an ending for Scream though. Like if you've seen the show, then you'll know that they did a movie after the first two seasons, and the movie ended on a cliffhanger. So I want a resolution to that cliffhanger. I want to know the whole "so you're wearing my mask" thing. Scream Queens, I liked the first season, Dave, but I could not get into the second season. I'll initially buy them both and I'll watch it. But the first season I thought was money. It was great. It was fantastic. Ariana Grande gets killed in the first episode. Spoiler alert. And it's an hilarious kill where she's trying to attack. It's really funny if you haven't seen it. But I enjoyed it. Prince of Darkness. I love this movie. It is a favorite John Carpenter film of mine. I don't think it gets enough recognition. It's different. It's unique. It has a great cast. You got to get some good Alice Cooper in here as well, and the stickers here, right? Sticker. But again, I love this film. I saw this when I was young. I saw this with my dad in the theater, and I was very proud of going into a horror movie with my dad because I wasn't raised with my parents. My parents split when I was young, and I was raised by my grandparents. But I got to see my mom a lot, and me and my dad didn't really get to connect until I got older. So when we got to go to a movie and stuff like that, was actually kind of a big deal. And I'm very close to both my parents now. My mom's fantastic. My dad's great. Do I have the Scream Queens card collection? I did not know that was a thing, Andrew. I know you asked Dave, but I'm answering too. You saw it in the church. That is so cool. Don't you just love the cover for this one? It's some of these you're like, some of these you can tell like they worked really hard. Like this is a really good film. Let's go all out on the cover. And other ones they're like la 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 la. But Pumpkinhead, again, love Pumpkinhead. It is a great movie. It is an kind of one of those kind of southern gothic urban legend type of films. Stan Winston did an amazing. Hey, T Money, welcome, man. Did an amazing design on the creature, and did a great directing job, I think. Lance Henriksen is incredible in this, and I don't remember who the actor is, but he was in like remember the show Third Rock from the Sun? So the kind of the slimy bad guy in this one, the one that runs over the kid, he's the guy. That's the teacher in Third Rock from the Sun, and I think he went on to be in like Sequest DSV as well. So yeah, it's showing you my geekness there, and that I remember both those shows. And being an Palma fan, you knew this one had to be in my collection. And really do love this film. John Lithgow does an amazing job. So does Alina Davidovich, by the way, and that is Raising Cain. It's a movie about a character with dissociative identity disorder, and it is so well done. I love the way that John Lithgow plays the roles. It just sticks with me. It always has. I'd love John Lithgow as a bad guy. Obviously, but Blowout is another one with him. Oh yeah, that's another De Palma classic. I'm guessing I'm going to have a lot of fans of the next three. I'm a huge fan of all three of these. Third one's the least, but still I like them all. So this is Sleepaway Camp with Felissa Rose as in the role, of course, of and I just love the head is put where it is for a reason. Sleepaway Camp here with Felissa Rose as Angela Baker, and an incredible film. I really enjoyed Sleepaway Camp, and Felissa Rose, man. She is gorgeous. Like she grew up like gorgeous. She's like super gorgeous. Next up is like actually just as good as the first one is this one right here, Sleepaway Camp 2. And this is, of course, has Pamela Springsteen as the role of Angela Baker, and she's a happy camper. Do you have any Bob Pick movies? I got Chaplin, stuff like that, so I do have a few. What's neat is as this cover here, which, by the way, this girl is just a model. She's not actually in the film. They did that a lot in the early the 80s like slasher films, is that they'd put like this girl that would not be in the movie. Like for instance, if you watch Slaughter You, and you've got the Vinegar Syndrome edition, or even the 88 Films edition, and you switch the cover around to its original cover, you see Elizabeth Catane on the cover of the film. And of course, she's done a lot of like horror films and stuff, including Friday 13th Part 7, and of course the Vice Academy series, the later ones. But she is not in Slaughter You. She's just on the cover. Not quite sure who this model is, but I'd have to look it up. All right, and here is Sleepaway Camp 3. It's fun. It's a little lazy though, and it seems like they filmed Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 pretty much back to back, and it really seems like they're tired after doing Sleepaway Camp 2. So 3 is just like, let's just get this done. And it really seems like a lot of the actors are like, okay, we've done this. And this is the cover, of course. Or Sleepaway Camp 3. I always love these like face and knife covers. Like, like Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers had that too. I love the face and knife thing. It's just, maybe it's a me thing. I'm going to say now, you guys are pretty quiet tonight, so I'm not quite sure if we're going to do. I'm going to do all these that are here, but maybe I'll stop after that because trying to kind of read in the room, and you guys seem a little tired. Maybe maybe you're not into the Scream Factory stuff as much. And 2 people left when I said that. 3 people left when I said that. Just saying. Just putting that out there. So next up is Terror Train. This one is out of print. This is one of the ones that I do know is out of print. How do I feel about The Hills Have Eyes Part 2? Actually, I do like it. It's cheesy, and it. Initially, I hated the film because you got a dog having a flashback. But the more and more I thought about it, is that basically, much like Escape from LA, I seriously think that that Hills of Ice 2 knows exactly what it is. It's a sequel that really didn't have to be and didn't really want to be, but and it doesn't take itself seriously. And once you kind of get that fact that it's kind of there, that it knows it's a sequel, and it really knows that it's what it is, you kind of enjoy it a bit more. And I think, yeah, for me anyway, The Hills of Ice 2, I think is a really fun ride. But it's not obviously not the same quality of the first one, but it's not trying to be. And this Terror Train does have the original sticker as well, so that's kind of cool. This one's out of print too, I think. I think Scorpion put out like an edition of that, but I'm sticking with this edition. Definitely, yeah, think of it that way. Like, definitely in the Texas Chainsaw 2 type of way. You can't get scared in Texas Chainsaw, so why try? So do Texas Chainsaw 2 and just go camp. Have fun with it. Next up is Demon Knight, which, again, another one I adore. I love Demon Knight. I'm eventually going to do like a whole Tales from the Crypt retrospective, but I don't have the complete series yet. I got it for my oldest, but I don't have it for myself. I only got like 3 seasons. But I have the film, so I'll eventually do one. I got to get Rituals as well, which is the 3rd Tales from the Crypt movie. Well, kind of Tales from the Crypt movie. I don't think I have that one. And now we have Bordello of Blood. That's why I laughed. Angie Everett. This guy, he's funny. He's a dick, but he's funny. And he does do a good job in this film. Yeah, Dennis Miller was the star of this one. And like they said, he was really, he was a bit of a jerk. He kind of did his own thing. But I'll give credit where credit is due. He sells it well in the film, and I think he does a good job. So he may have been a jerk, but he was good for that film. Maybe not to work with, but to watch. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Everybody hates this. I appreciate that, Chris. Actually, it really does mean a lot, especially when I'm feeling down. And I've had a rough day. I've had a really rough day today, guys. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Again, I do love this. It's so weird. Now this is the one. Is this the one? All right. Yes, it is. Matthew McConaughey. I love Matthew McConaughey in this one because he's got with the remote. I love the remote scene. What's really neat about this too is there's this girl in this, and I'm not sure she's a real estate agent or something like that, but she's a member of the family, right? And it gives one of the rare times like you get like nudity in it, because you don't really get a lot of nudity in Texas Chainsaw movies when you think about it. But in this one you do. There's like a, it's obviously an extraneous, like it's not a needed nude scene. But when is it not needed? Uh, yeah, she's very impressive. Anyway, Renee Zellweger's in this one, and there's this like sequence in it where she's really pissed off, and she just tells like Leatherface. This is the worst Leatherface, by the way. But the other characters are great. It's she's like, just you sit down, and he just like, sits back down. Anyway, I liked that. I really liked it. Okay, next up is The Burning. It's a classic 1982 slasher film. I think pretty much most people that like watch slashers, and like when you're doing up your top 10 slasher film, this is usually one of them that's there. It's great, and it's rare in the fact that it's not a final girl but a final guy, and that's kind of different. Jason Alexander's in this film as well, so you get to feel like big actors in this one. Yeah, so Dungeon. So you're saying like nude scenes are like Lay's potato chips. Uh, you can't just have one. Probably why I like the Friday the 13th franchise so much. Because it knows what it is. Hey, welcome back, T-Man, T-Money. Because it knows what it is, and it enjoys what it is. And that is freaking incredible. And that's why I need that Friday 13th one. Do I watch new movies? I do, yeah. I watch a lot of newer stuff too. I just don't usually have like newer stuff on my channel, except when I'm basically when usually Black Friday, stuff like that. So that's when you'll see newer stuff on my channel, when I go out and buy stuff there. A lot of my newer stuff's 4K as well. Okay. Next up is The Craft. And I love this movie. Now, I was kind of disappointed that there wasn't a new transfer for this film. Like it was, it is what it is. I do need to explore more Korean thrillers. My kids are going to show me more Korean thrillers actually when I go out there again. They're actually moving into a new apartment at the beginning of August, so I'm actually excited about that. I'm getting them a new couch for their apartment now, actually. So, love this film. Fruza Balk, Robin Tunney, Nev Campbell, Rachel True, who for some reason and a lot of times when you see like this, that just has three names. Rachel True's name always gets knocked off for some reason. Poor girl. But there's new interviews on here, so there's new features. Same older transfer, but still it's not. Then again, it's not a bad transfer anyway, so I'm okay with it. Andrew, have a great evening there. Thanks for coming in, man, and keeping it lively and talking. The Fog again. Classic Carpenter. I really love this movie. And you get the whole part where I remember Pod People, and there's a sequence in Pod People where Joel is like, wow, this movie has more fog than The Fog. It's still one of my favorites. It's just a small throwaway line in Mystery Science Theater Pod People episode, but I always remember that when Trumpy does stupid things. I'm not sure if it's legit or not, but some people have like screen capped the book that Hal Holbrook is reading from, and whether it's real or not, like somebody said, like that there's just some random stuff on there, like, oh, I can't believe I'm getting paid to write this shit. Okay, They Live. For a lot of people, this is where they came in. For people that didn't come in when Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 came out, they came in to Scream Factory when They Live was released. It's a classic film. It's a fantastic movie. It's definitely more relevant than ever, and it's great. I said yes. I do sometimes. More classic Craven, and an underrated Craven is The People Under the Stairs. I really like this film. I love the artwork, by the way. This is fantastic artwork. And it is such a cool movie, too. Yeah, I forget that was Sean Whalen in this one. But two actors from Twin Peaks, if you're a Twin Peaks fan, gonna love this. Did you get the Steelbook? I really wanted to get the. See, we're moving up, like I talked about. I'm eventually going to Morocco, and it's too expensive. But I really, really wanted that Friday the 13th lithograph to put on my wall in my condo in Morocco, because that's my jam. Friday 13th is my thing, right? It's what I know. It's what I do. But it's way more expensive. Speaking of the Serpent and the Rainbow, here it is right here. It's probably, and I'm not going to lie, it's my least favorite cover that they put out. I think it's a little bit too busy. Like, yeah, there's a lot on here. Like, there's the bird and the... Yeah, it's definitely my least favorite cover. It's just too busy. But the film I love. The colors are good. But it's just the cover. It's just the cover gets to me. This one is great, though. And this is a movie that I'll be honest, it scared me. I rarely get scared at films, but this one did scare me. Because this is very real. See, I don't get scared by demons or ghosts and stuff like that, not normally. I like jump scares every once in a while. No, but my kids have the cartoon series Tales from the Crypt. I don't have Strangers 2 yet. I saw it in theater, Ragman, and I loved it. And yeah, a dungeon. I did. When I picked this up to look at it, I actually did get a bit of a chill. It actually still creeps me out. I would love to see them put out on from Scream Factory. I would love to see if Scream Factory would do like more foreign films. Maybe get into some giallo or some French, new wave like horror stuff like that. I'd love to see that type of stuff. Thank you, Team Money. I really appreciate that. Was it the love for strangers? Are you a fan of Strangers, by the way? I lived, like I mentioned before I came here, we lived in another area of Nova Scotia, which was around 45 minutes away from here. My better half would have to drive, get up really early in the morning and drive 45 minutes to work every day, and I would be out on my own. And so often she would go, and we were out in kind of in the wilderness area. So there were like houses, but they were like stretched out there. So I was kind of on my own. And at that period, is when Strangers was announced coming out from Scream Factory, and I couldn't buy it at that time because it was too close to home. It really freaked me out. I was living in an area much like Strangers. Some bad. Thank you, Amy. You guys rocked. Thank you so much. I love the colors. Like one is yellow, one is like an aquamarine kind of color. I wonder if the colors are picked. Urban Legend. Again, it is Jamie Blanks. I'm a huge Jamie Blanks fan. I love the stuff that he's done. He hasn't done enough. And if he's done newer stuff, I don't know it. But I love Urban Legend. The one that they didn't put out yet, it was on Dimension Extreme. Oh, God. It's a husband and wife one. Hey, welcome, CP. But I just dig this film. I dig this film a lot, actually. Speaking of Mr. Blanks, Valentine. Not only does this have one of my favorite covers put out by Scream Factory, but this is a favorite film of mine. This is one that was much maligned in the day. A lot of people really didn't get into it as much. But this, because at the time slashers were kind of played out a bit, but this is a really good throwback. Storm. Thank you, Amy. That is the movie I'm trying to think about. Storm Warning. That's the one that Scream Factory needs to put out. What's this one about? This is a fantastic film. Basically, it is this young boy at a Valentine's Day party, like in grade six, or grade 5 or 6, basically, and he's going around and he's asking these girls to dance, and everyone he like says no to him. He's a, the typical geeky like kid. Then is it Cavity Colors that did the work on this? I love to have the T-shirts. But basically, he ends up making out with this girl, and when they see that she's making out with him, she says, "Oh no, look, he kissed me," type thing. And so the like the pick on him, they salt him type of thing. And this is like years later. The girls are all grown up, and they're getting like death threats, and they don't take them seriously at first, but they're getting killed off one by one, and in some really neat ways. He did the artwork for no wonder the artwork for the Friday 13th one is so amazing, because this is vibrant and it really stands out, and I love the artwork on the new Friday the 13th box set. It looks incredible. I've like oogled over it like since it came out. I've just it's just gorgeous. So basically, one of the men in their lives, or maybe one of the girls, is the Valentine Day mask killer, wears a Cupid mask, and is killing them off in neat and unique ways. And cast-wise, it's great. You got Denise Richards. I guess she's famous for nowadays. She's on one of those like housewife shows. Oh, Chris, I didn't know you were going so soon. Thank you for coming in, man. You have a great evening. Marley Shelton, who was in, of course, Screen 4. She's in this. David Boreanaz, of course. Angel is in this. And, of course, Castle. Not Castle. What is it called? Bones, right? Bones. Yeah, Bones. He was in that. And Katherine Heigl is in this one as well. And she had a career until she sabotaged herself. So, which is sad, actually. It's kind of sad. But Katherine Heigl was actually a really big actress at one point, and she did a lot of stuff, starting in Roswell and then doing movies, and then apparently bad-mouthing movies that she made. And of course, Village of the Damned. I like this. Again, it is probably one of the lesser like John Carpenter films. Is in like not a lot of people are really into it. Christopher Reeve is in this one, and he's still Chris Reeve. It's like pre-accident. We got Kirstie Alley's in some, Michael Paré is in this film. I just think it like the original Village of the Damned was so well known and so well loved that it was going in hard like to make an adaptation of this one. But I personally do enjoy it. This is the remake. Yeah, there's like a British version. There were two films originally made Dungeon. There was A Village of the Damned and Children of the Damned, that were done like were British films in the 60s. I think it's the 60s, yeah. So this is a remake of those. Now we're getting into the non-special editions, but some of these are actually some of my favorites. And this is Army of Darkness. Yes, this was a collector's edition, but I don't have the slipcover, so. You've never seen it? Oh, that's kind of neat then. Does he like it? Because that's a bit of a long one, right? Army of Darkness. Again, I just really dig this one. I don't think this is the corrected one. I'll survive without him jumping over a fence because it's in one of the other cuts. Oh yeah, no, Carpenter redid it. It didn't get a lot of like real good credit back in the day, but I personally enjoyed it. So there's the theatrical cut, the director's cut, and disc 3 is the international and the television cut. So there's 4 cuts of the film on here. Wow, pretty cool, huh? Next up is a movie that is really good. It's done by Eric Red. The original Children of the Damned terrified you for years. Oh, nice. Which cut's the best? I'd have to go back and watch it. I really wouldn't be able to say. I'll go with theatrical cut because that's the one I remember, but it's probably not. But I haven't watched them in a while. So if I told you, I'd be lying. Bad Moon, you're right, it is Bad Moon. I love this movie. There's just one bad sequence, and it's you know what it is. It's the CGI werewolf sequence. This got almost all practical effects throughout the entirety of this film. And then they just throw in the CGI werewolf like morphing scene in it, and it was dated even for its day. And you had this incredible performance by Michael Paré. that that makes you just so pissed off with that they even went and did that, because it is such a good film. Eric Red's movies are good, like I gotta say. And loving the cheesy stuff, The Brain That Wouldn't Die. I love The Brain That Wouldn't Die. This is the uncut edition, so it's sleazier than the Mystery Science Theater version that you saw. Has any movie ever put off a good CGI werewolf? That's actually a good question. I personally, Michael, I prefer practical effects, especially in werewolf films. I'm biased already against them, but I can't really think right now of anyone that really has done it well. I think you got to go practical. Hey, you're getting in here though before it's all over, so welcome, man. I took a nap earlier too myself. Vintage cheese. What's really neat about this one, by the way, is because Shout Factory put this out, you do get an alternate scene from an international cut, but the biggest feature on this is exactly what you think it would be. It is the Mystery Science Theater edition of The Brain That Wouldn't Die is on here. Yes, and for those unaware, The Brain That Wouldn't Die is one of the best episodes of Mystery Science Theater. I would tell you right now, a few of the best episodes of Mystery Science Theater. The Brain That Wouldn't Die, Pod People, Mitchell, Manos, the Hands of Fate, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Those are some of the best Mystery Science Theater ones. And this is probably going upstairs with me because I want to watch the Mystery Science Theater edition again. And I don't want to take up my whole Mystery Science Theater box that's there. But I might, because Pod People and Mitchell I really like to watch again. So Candyman, Farewell to the Flesh. This is the second Candyman film. This actually came out long before the put out Candyman. And I actually like this one. Kelly Rutherford is in this one. Is it Kelly Rutherford? Kelly Rowan? Kelly Rowan, okay. Why did I say Rutherford? There is a Kelly Rutherford, right? Oh, from the OC. Okay, Kelly Rowan from the OC. Okay, sorry. I mixed it up. Kelly Rowan from the OC. Kelly Rutherford is an actress that was in other things. Like Dynasty, actually, the new Dynasty series. I agree. I actually did like this one. Some people didn't get into it. Veronica Cartwright is in this one as well. But I really enjoyed it. She's a mom in the OC, right? Kelly Rowan, she's a mom? Like one of the moms in the OC? I got to go back and watch it again, but I think she is. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Confirmation. Again, here's a film I love. I love this film. This film's in Morocco right now, by the way. This is a fantastic film. If you don't have Crawl Space in your collection, I recommend it. And not only for Crawl Space, but by the way, which is a David Schmoller film. You also did Tourist Trap, and Tourist Trap is an amazingly fun film. If you don't have it, you should. But this one's really cool. Klaus Kinski's in it. There is a short film on here, and it's called Please Kill Mr. Kinski. And it's really good, and it basically is the director, and he's telling the story about how the cast that were doing the film hated Kinski so much that they were like, you know, why don't we pay somebody to kill Klaus Kinski? So he tells the story of it there. Obviously, they didn't kill Klaus Kinski, but yeah, that is a great little bonus on here. But Crawl Space, really good film. Klaus Kinski really plays these creepier roles really well. Next up is one of the really cool last true action films, and I'll explain what I mean by that when I get to it. And here it is. It's Dark Angel. Now, when this came out, I saw this as I Come in Peace, and I even remember the trailer, where basically, I come in peace, you leave in pieces. I had never known this under the name Dark Angel until it came out from Scream Factory, and I was unaware. Now, again, a fantastic film. I agree, Amy. I love this movie too. But this is one of the last films to use practical effects for explosions and stuff like that. After I Come in Peace, aka Dark Angel, a lot of the explosions and stuff that you would see in movies would be very much like Michael Bay, would be very CGI. And but when they're running from explosions in this film, this has Brian Benben in it, and he was a comedian and I was a big fan of him because I used to watch, what was it called again? A Dream On. This series called Dream On used to come on HBO. A lot of nudity, by the way. But he was in that. So basically, anytime you see them running away from explosions, it's Stone Cold by the same director. I didn't know that, and I got Stone Cold here from 101 Films, and I loved that film too. So that's probably why. But when they're running away from explosions, they're actually running away from real explosions, and I love that. It's they might not love that. It's kind of dangerous, but you can really the tension is there, and it's a great little film. Speaking of another great little film that I think kind of flies under a lot of people's radars, it is Deadly Eyes. It is a killer rat film. I have a penchant for killer rat films. This is one of my favorites. Even above Ben and stuff like that, I love Deadly Eyes. It is a exploitation film as well, so it ticks off 2 boxes, and it ticks off 3 boxes because it also has Lisa Langolis. And Lisa Langolis, of course, was in Class of 1984. She's in Deadly Eyes. She's in a bunch of anyway exploitation films. She's a Canadian actress, blonde hair, really cute. See, what confused me, Scholar, with the Dark Angel title is because when I think Dark Angel, I think of 2 things. I think of the TV series, and with Jessica Alba, and I think of that Full Moons movie. Definitely a really good double feature with Unknown Origin. I still got to get of Unknown Origin. Another fantastic exploitation, rat film, starring Peter Weller, and his wife in it is played by Shannon Tweed, who, like me, is a Newfoundlander. But this one is really cool. It's brutal. There's a scene with a kid, and he's in and I'll say it. I don't mind saying it now because this one's been out for a while. He's in in a high chair, and there's a bunch of people over, and she's they're all around the same age, but she's a mother. She's a younger mother, and she's got her kid in a high chair in the kitchen, and she comes in after everybody's left, and there's nothing in the high chair, and there's this just trail of blood going leading towards a hole in the wall, and it's such a brutal scene. You would never see that. You rarely see that nowadays in a movie. But then no, the kid dies too, man, and it's early on in the film. Some great sequences in the film, even though the rats really just like dogs, dressed in rat suits, but it's still cool. Next up is a really fun little kind of a slow burn thriller. With a great cast, Catherine Hicks, Paula Matt, Stephen McHattie, or in other words, that guy that kind of looks like Lance Henriksen. And Stephen McHattie, I guess, is probably most famous now for, what was the name of the movie where he played the dad? Sort of played the dad. It's a recent one. And of course, he was in Pontypool. Pontypool was a big movie with Stephen McHattie too. But Death Valley. And Death Valley is a really cool little thriller. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. Definitely a fun film. It stars Peter Billingsley, who was the lead, of course, the young lead in A Christmas Story with Bob Clark. So, and I love this cover too. It's real. The mouth is really odd. It always really Better art the movie. You didn't like it? I liked it. I really did. I think it was better than I actually initially expected it to be. And I always wonder, I know Paul Matt had kind of he used to drink a lot, because I know he did Puppet Master as well. Yeah, I think that's what happened. Dungeon. I'd heard, and I'm just going on stuff that I'd heard, that Paul Matt liked to drink, and that might have affected his career later on. You build up in your mind. See, that can do it sometimes. That hurt me with so many films. Nowadays, I go in with the lowest expectations I possibly can, and I often get It's definitely a slow burn. I will agree, it's definitely a slow burn, but I love the ending of it. And this is a double feature. It's Destroyer and Edge of Sanity. Destroyer is a really fun film. But so is Edge Sandy is crazy, man. I love Anthony Perkins in this film. His role in this one, it's underrated. It's a Jekyll and Hyde film. It's basically Jekyll and Hyde with cocaine, is pretty much what this is. And I dug this. I really dug this a lot. I like Destroyer. It's got Lila Zato as the killer, and Lila Zato is pretty much like a teddy bear of a man. But I enjoyed it. Okay, here's one that. Okay, I'm gonna say it right now. This is one I got. I really like it because I really like the director. Yep, the football player, man. The football player, the guy that had like the TV series. The one, oh, God, yeah, it's a Canadian TV series, Learning the Ropes, where he played like a wrestler, and the girl like left like Degrassi Junior High to go on and be his daughter on that show. So this is Full Moon High, and I love the artwork. It's a very like kind of a cracked Mad magazine style artwork. Reminds you of Shocker? Yeah, I can see that. I can actually see that. So Full Moon High is the Larry Cohen film, and I think you're right actually. I think he did play for the Cleveland Browns. So Larry Cohen, of course, made movies like The Stuff and Q, so many films. But this is probably one of his lesser known films. I dig it. I mean, I understand not everybody's gonna like it, but I like Adam Arkin, and I'm a huge Roz Kelly fan. Roz Kelly was, of course, I'm a Happy Days. I grew up with Happy Days, and Roz Kelly was Pinky Tuscadero in Happy Days, the one that was supposed to like win Fonzie's heart, but they couldn't agree on like money, so she ended up only being like in for like 3 episodes. Ed McMahon's in this as well, which is actually kind of cool. All right. Coming Larry Cohen. What's the Larry Cohen race he got coming out, Daniel? What I'm excited about, Adam Arkin related to Alan Arkin. Son, they're related. Is Perfect Strangers Larry Cohen? Can I be honest with you? I didn't know that. I 100% want that now. So, not something that I knew, but I'm going to get it now. Well, not get it now, but I'm going to get it because, like, during the next sale. Most exciting thing this time for me, a lot of people are excited about Pandemonium because the guy that did Blood Game did an amazing cover for Blood Game, but Fun City Editions is a brand new company, and they did Alphabet City. And I kind of want that. We got some Ohio people here. Do you know I worked for a company? I wrote for a company in Ohio. I wrote films for them. So that's Disturbed Behavior. Again, love this movie. It is the Pandemonium cover is definitely cool. Pandemonium and Alphabet City have the 2 best covers like this month. But this is cool. I love the soundtrack, and there's a time when I was so like snobby when it came to 90s films. Like, oh, 90s isn't a very good. 90s isn't horror when it comes to the 80s films. But I actually do like. Scream Factory has given me a new appreciation and love for 90s horror that I think, well, yes, they put a lot of good stuff. Okay, this is Eve of Destruction. I saw this on VHS, and I bought it when they had a big sale. I haven't watched it. I bought this was like $8 or something, even less, I think, when I picked up. I like Gregory Hines a lot, so I'll definitely check this out. But I've seen it just like years ago. But yeah. And next up, Logan Toxic is not a big fan of this film. Have I seen White Nights? Yep. I was big into like let's say I'm a good dancer. I was big into dance and stuff. When I was going into acting, I was taking every class that I could. So I took like some tap classes, and I took some movement classes. And, you got to do a little bit of everything. So yeah, Gregory Hines was big on my list of guys to watch, and I loved White Nights. I saw it in theater. Him and Mikhail Brishnikov. So Evil Speak. Logan did not like this film. Like me and Logan disagreed on this film. I thought this film was hilarious. That was fun. If you thought Carrie was not a well-liked person in her school, well, man, then meet Stanley Coppersmith, because even the teachers, even the teachers hate Stanley Coppersmith in Evil Speak. What a poor guy. So he's played by Clint Howard, Ice Cream Man himself, and it's so fun. It is so fun. I think you'll like it. It's cheesy as hell, but it's super fun. You love it? See, T Money. And you agreed on the last one too, on the one that you didn't like so much. So I'm pretty sure then you've got like a similar taste there. Final Exam. Again, a really fun film. The opening of Final Exam, there's no way this would go over in today's society. So the opening of Final Exam is this. So this guy is literally starts at the prank, exactly. is doing a test. So what they decide to do to get him out of doing this test is an hilarious prank of faking a terrorist attack. I'm not joking. That's how Final Exam starts. That is the opening to Final Exam. Even back in the 80s, that would not have worked. But it is like, oh, it's a Twilight Zone shirt from the original series, and it is I don't want to turn off the lights, but this is glow in the dark actually. And even after being washed many times, it's still glow in the dark. All right, now this one took a few years to come out. You have good taste in shows. I love Twilight Zone. I have all, except for the Jordan Peele one, which I don't own yet. I have all other editions of Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone. It is an odd film. You know what? The first time I saw Final Exam, I actually didn't like it that much. It's kind of grown on me over the years. But as a slasher film, I wanted like to have a reason behind it. Got the whole series. Did you buy the box? The one that I got? Where's that at? It's probably upstairs. The Cube with the 80s series included. Then I just had to go and like get the early 2000 series, the one with was it Forrest Whitaker? I think it's Forrest Whitaker doing the. Yeah, he's into the second season. I think I've only seen the first 2 episodes, and it was okay. No, the first 3 episodes. The best one that I saw was one about a mother and a camera that she would be able to rewind, and it would rewind time. But the first one was kind of meh, like really. But the time camera was pretty good. So the Final Terror, it has Daryl Hannah from Splash in it, and Joe Pantaleone. Of course, he was in the movie Bound. He's in a lot of movies. Adrian Zmed is in this one here too, right? Adrian Zmed? I'm pretty sure it's Adrian. Yeah, Adrian Zmed, Rachel Ward, of course, from Night School. I love the movie Night School. It's a great slasher film. This is not really a slasher film. Not so much. They actually had to go back and like film some extra kills for the beginning of this film, because it really kind of like by the time this came out, the whole slasher boom was going on. Makes you think of the pint. I can say that. All right, next one is cool for a couple reasons. One, Jeff Burr, who directed. Was he a nice guy? I forgot. Yeah, he's in Matrix. I should remember that. I'm mentioning like smaller films that he's in. But From a Whisper to a Scream was directed by Jeff Burr, who directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 and Leatherface, which is one that I super love. Killer Party needs it. Wasn't Killer Party released? Like I thought it was getting a release. Because it definitely needs one. But what's really neat about this, and I gotta say, like this was early on in my channel. I actually reviewed the documentary because there's a feature-length documentary on here called "A Decade Under the Influence," and it's really, really good. The one with Daryl Hannah was the final tear, and I actually thought that the documentary on this disc was so good that that I early in my YouTubing, I actually like did a review of the documentary on its own, and the people that made the documentary commented on it and thanked me. So I was really like, I had like maybe like probably like 50 like viewers at the time. Like I don't mean like 50 viewers watching at once. I mean 50 subscribers total. Did I see the August Vinegar Syndrome? I did. I mean, at the beginning, I mentioned it. I'm super stoked about them. I'm not a big fan of Pandemonium. I'm going to have to rewatch that one. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I like Decent Exposure is an adult film. I do collect all those. The Collar I'm excited about. I'm most excited about Alphabet City because it's a brand new company and it's an 80s film. So that checks off two boxes. Brand new company I can start collecting from the beginning. It's their first film, Fun City Editions. And there's a AGFA title as well called Limbo, which I don't know a lot about, but I got to look into it more before I actually talk about it too much. Also, the Angel films, for people that didn't get the box set, they're selling them singularly now. And for people that were unaware, the Severin Films website is back up now, and you can buy stuff. I'm still waiting for my Severin stuff to come out, but I did order Bahia Blanca, so I'm not quite sure. I think that one had a late August release, and I don't think they're gonna like send out any of my other stuff until that one gets released. The Forgotten Giallo box set is coming, Dave, I think in September. So that'll be next month. So we'll definitely talk about it. See if there's anyone there that I know. And you guys know I love Giallo, so we'll be talking about that in like ad nauseum here. You're going to get lots of Giallo talk if you're in this channel. So if you like Giallo, guys, you're in the right place. So, I love the sale, like the sale itself, like the prices, fantastic. The titles, great. The the website stuff, I feel your frustration, man. I really do. And it's such a shame because there was like objectively, if there wouldn't have been that issue, there was amazing prices on that sale. Amazing prices on that sale. Like I got like 18 titles on and during the Severance sale. So I'll be unboxing them when they come. But like stuff I really wanted, like limited collector's editions and slipcovers and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm hoping that they work at the website, like really work it out. Go back from the beginning. You didn't get your shipping notice on the Lindsay Baker set yet? Like I got my shipping notice. Mine's actually on its way. It's in the States somewhere. It's going to take a long time. I expect to get it sometime next month. I don't think that Severin was ready for the fact that they were going to be that popular. Like they upgraded their stuff, but I think they put their tech in the wrong hands, and go with Shopify. Like if they're going to redo their website, like don't go with like go with Shopify. Hey there, Trini. It definitely, I don't think it was load. I think you're right. I don't think it was load tested, and I'm going to guess that they're probably not techie people. But I'm guessing some people are like, well, you should have done this, this, and this, which is great to say, and I understand it. But it's a small company. So I felt bad because I know that they lost customers for it. Kino's having a big sale right now, actually. I'm actually, after I do, letting it out of the bag a bit, but after I do the Scream Factory titles, I'm probably going to be doing my entire Kino one while the sale's going on. So, nice. You're ahead of the game. Ghost Story. If you don't own this movie, own this movie. It's really good. I mean, like, it's way good. And it's way better than expected. It's got Fred Astaire, Melvin Douglas. There's right there. Douglas Fairbanks Sr., John Houseman from Paper Chase. That's a horrible John Houseman. We picked up good one Black Sunday. Date with an Angel. See, I'm a big fan of the movie for like one big reason. I watched my grandmother, who I was raised with, watched All My Children, which meant I watched All My Children. And the guy that stars in a Date with an Angel is the guy that played Tad Martin on All My Children. Michael T. Knight. So yeah, that was like that was a big deal for me. Like, oh, the guy that played Tad is gonna be in All My Children. I actually had a board game of All My Children too. Not even lying, I really did. Ghost Story, great film, and Craig Wasson from of course Body Double and from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, as in this one as well. You saw this one in theater. Actually, so did I. Did I see this one in theater? Yes, I did. The opening freaked the hell out of me. Yeah, Dick Smith, you gotta love Dick Smith. Yeah, the guy that played, he's on General Hospital, you know, now. He's playing like a liar. He's got like a southern accent, which I really don't think he should have, but still. Hellhole. It took them forever to get this movie out. Like, they announced it, and then they said they weren't going to put it out, and then they re-announced it. It's a really cool film. Definitely the Ray Sharkey kills it in this movie. He's really, really good. Ray Sharkey he's passed on, but he was like a really good actor and super underrated. There's another guy that started in soap operas too. He started it in, I think, was Another World. That's a soap opera that's no longer on the air, guys. So for the younger people here, that was a soap opera that used to come on back in the day in NBC. Yeah, it's a really fun film. Mary Warnow, I think, is in this one as well, and I'm a huge Mary Warnow fan. Great, yeah, Edie Williams, just such a cool film. And I'm a big, now it's gonna sound horrible, I'm a big like Landers fan, like Judy Landers fan. And when I got this, because I hadn't seen it before, I was like, damn, Judy Landers, and in a prison movie. So this is finally gonna be like Judy Landers, like nude, but she was the only person not nude in it. So yeah, I was a little disappointed there. No, you're thinking of A Different World. A Different World was like was where they spun off Denise Huxtable to be in like a spinoff of the Cosby Show. Was a nighttime show. Another World is a soap opera that started out in the '60s, and it did have a spinoff, and it was called Texas. But ironically, the star of Another World, of A Different World, Lisa Bonet, was fired by Bill Cosby from A Different World because she had been in a film that had nudity in it, and he thought that hurt the moral integrity of his brand. Oh, how time would you know? Oh, time. Time would really change that. Bill Cosby thought that Lisa Bonet would hurt his moral integrity. You got to kind of love that. Now, when you think about it, the hypocrisy is hilarious. It is. Okay, last stop for tonight, because we're going on at 143 minutes here. Angel Heart. Yeah, that's the one. I love Angel Heart, by the way. Is Howling 2, which I dig. I really do. It's so badly at Reb Brown, who played like the TV version of Captain America, is in this. He's not a great actor in this film, I'm not going to lie. Christopher Lee apologized for making this film when he made Gremlins 2 with, he went up to the director and he said, who directed which one? The original Howling or this one here? Original's like Howling 2. Oh, it's the same guy that directed Part 3. Philip Morey is an Australian actor. Australian director. He actually did direct a really good, like, kind of like monster, like Inside type of movie. and that one is called The Beast Within, and The Beast Within works really well. It's actually a pretty solid film. But yeah, Joe Dante directed the original. Hey there, Hadge. Is this out of print too? Man, a lot of them went out of print. So I can stop right here and we can start up tomorrow and finish off because I got a few more Scream Factories to go through. Because I'm guessing you guys at 140, wow, 145 minutes, you guys are probably tired of me talking by now. Or I could do another shelf, like one more cube. So it's up to you right now. You're tired? I understand, man. It's been 145 minutes. So I appreciate you guys staying this long. Keep going. Not tired? Do you want to go one more? We'll do one more show. We'll do one more, and then we'll finish it up for tonight. Stories from the 70s. Well, there's an idea. Well, I wasn't a kid in the 70s, but movies from the 70s, I can do that. We'll just finish off with these here for tonight, and then we'll do the last of those tomorrow, and we'll do something else. I'll try and surprise you with something else. But there's some good titles here. So next up is the often forgot about Invaders from Mars. See how bad you're gonna have fun with it. If for not, do you like Sybil Danning, Scalder? If you like Sybil Danning, you're gonna like that film. So Invaders from Mars. Not enough people. This one's out of print too. Holy crap! Not enough people talk about this. This is actually a really fun film. I thought that Tobe Hooper did a great job of this. This is a fantastic cast, and I utterly adored this film. Trying to move this over here. Next up is Lady in White. And again, it's a ghost story. It's it shows you that I think this is like PG-13. Yeah, that you can have a creepy movie and not have it not have it be and it doesn't have to be R, because Lady in White actually legit has some definite creepiness to it. Hey there, Sinister, welcome, man. And it's a 2-disc set, 2 Blu-ray set. I really love the way this is done. And I'll show you the other alternate artwork because it's actually kind of cool. So that's a young Lucas Haas. Oh no, it's not. You're thinking of like the bride with white hair. But no, Lady in White is like Lucas Haas, actually, a very young Lucas Haas. Really good film. But no, he's wearing like a like one of those old Dracula kind of like plastic masks with the with the elastic on it. Next up is one that I bought basically. How many Scream Factories would I say there are? Oh my God, there's a lot more than I got actually. But if you ask me how many I got, I'll count them up by tomorrow, and I'll know around then. But I did actually know at one point how many I had. But there's got to be over 300 Scream Factories out there now, probably more, actually. So I'm like I don't have like nearly like all of them. Like there's a lot that I'm missing. Definitely. Like I'm proud of what I got, but there's way more than I got. It took a while to put them back. 400, yeah, I think. Is it closer to 500? It's definitely getting up there. I mean, if you go on Wikipedia, they actually got it numbered. Rasputin is a fantastic film, so that's a good one. You got 350, so you got more than me. What boutique label has the most movies in their catalog? If it's, I don't know, Kino maybe. I know Scream Factory has a lot. Kino too. Kino has a lot. I would hazard a guess. Yeah, definitely. I would say Kino. Leviathan's out of print. I literally bought this one because it was one of those where they had one of the back when their sales were good. This was one of the kind of like the really cheap titles. Okay, here's a Hammer film for somebody that mentioned. Criterion. Yeah, Criterion's over 1,000 titles. So yeah, probably Criterion. Why do I see when I think of boutique labels, I think of boutique genre labels. I don't think Criterion. It's it's a different level almost. But yeah, but definitely Criterion. Lust for a Vampire, and I did dig this one. It was on for like $12 too. And again, I do like that film. That's a Hammer one. It's part of the Karnstein trilogy. And it has the look-alike for Christopher Lee, Mike Raven, who was he was a radio DJ. And he played, not only was a radio DJ, but he was really into Satanism as well. So next up is a underrated Romero film, and one that I actually really dig, and that is Monkey Shines. So Monkey Shines again, it was a really fun one. For some people around my age, Monkey Shines actually was big because it actually taught us things. But Monkey Shines is a fun little film. Is he a good stand-up? No. I mean, like, he's not a good actor. He's pretty stiff. Like, he was the real deal. He actually was into that type of stuff. But no, he's no Christopher Lee. But he does what he does. It's okay. Lust is fun. New Year's Evil. This is fun. Again, this one actually has Roz Killian, and it's one where she's like the final girl, kind of like the main star of the film, but she's really not. The movie literally focuses more on the killer. And the neat thing about this is we see the killer's face, but we don't know who the killer is. Oh no, definitely not Secret Christmas Eve. It's a very different film. And he has this kind of idiotic idea that he's going to kill people for every time zone when it's New Year's Eve. And early on he starts, if you've ever seen Scream, and you're like, oh, well, that killer in Scream is kind of klutzy. And, it's kind of that sometimes. Watch this movie. Because this killer makes all kinds of mistakes. He takes this girl in a car at one point, but he messes up and she escapes. So he's got to go find another victim. But really, really good film. I had a lot of fun with it. Super cheesy. There's this band in it too. I'm trying to remember the name of them. And I'm looking on the back to try and cheat to find the name of them, but I can't remember right now. But you hear their music throughout it anyway. Before I bought the Nightbreed big set, I said I wasn't going to buy the big set, and I actually had made a video on it that got a lot of views. And that was, but so I picked up the director's cut. So I got them both, got the director's cut and the big special edition of it. Who could not pick up this film? Because this is so cool. I love anthologies, guys. I love anthologies. And I did see this one, like in theater. So that is Nightmares. I love this movie. I will say it wasn't as great as I remembered it being. But then again, I'd super hyped it up in my head because I'd seen it like so, and I remembered this is really, really good, and this is really, really creepy, and it was good, but it wasn't as good as I remember it being as a kid. And I think it's because I was looking through those glasses, those nostalgic glasses too. But it's really fun. Christina Rains is in the kind of the classic story, like with the escape killer. Theatrical or director's cut? I go back and forth on that, Dave. But at the present time, probably a theatrical cut. But I'll go back and forth. Check is 512. So Criterion's the king then. 512 is amazing though. Well, this is part of, like, there's two versions. There's the widescreen and there's a full frame version of this as well. Okay, this one got remade with, I'm not sure if it was a new print or new features, but Ninja 3: The Domination. This was the original edition of this that came out. Only a ninja can kill a ninja. And of course, this has Lucinda Dickey, who was big in all the Cannon films. She was in the Breakin' films and all that type of stuff. Here's one that has an amazing new transfer. Thank you. That one's out of print too. The new transfer too, isn't it? Or it's going out of print. So this is Nomads, which I actually kind of dig this one. It's got Pierce Brosnan in it. Adam Ant is actually, I love Adam Ant, is in this as well. Dominatrix, no. It's the Domination. Did anybody like this film but me? I just really like the cast. You're disappointed with no? I can say that. The first time I saw Nomads, I didn't like it. But for some reason, I ended up liking it afterwards. Kino's over thousands in theirs as well. Oh, so there we go. Adam Ant. Like, Adam Ant was like this, he did the song called Goody Two Shoes, which is one of my favorites. And in the video, by the way, if you're a Carolyn Monroe fan, Carolyn Monroe's in the video of Adam Ant's Goody Two Shoes. It's a Michael Jackson. But that is so not Michael Jackson. Nosferatu the Vampire. This, of course, is Klaus Kinski, and it is a Werner Herzog film. I adore this movie. Yeah, I can watch this one. So I got to be in the right mood to watch it, but I actually love this film. It looks gorgeous. It is beautiful. Klaus Kinski does an amazing job in this one here. You know, Klaus Kinski, Isabelle Adjani, Bruno Ganz. Oh, Carolyn Monroe. She was in like a lot of like Hammer films and like Sinbad and stuff like that. I don't know if I call them the bargain basement criterion. They're really good, actually. I like the stuff that they do. Next up is Phantom of the Opera. This was supposed to be one of two films that were put out. This is Robert Englund's Phantom of the Opera. There was supposed to be a sequel to this called Phantom of New York that was never made. I got the box set too, but I had to upgrade to the Blu-ray. Unless you got the Blu-ray edition of it like that. And I like this. I like Joe Sholin a lot. This actually has a really good cast. Alex Hyde is in this. Of course, he was Mr. Fantastic in the unreleased Fantastic Four film. I think they've gotten a lot better. Kino started out like with not a lot of stuff on there, but doing some really good transfers. But I think they've gotten a lot better. Like I got to give them credit. Like Kino's like come a long ways. Like in doing like TV shows and like slip covers and booklets and special features galore. So yeah, give them credit for getting there. This is Prison. Yes, I did put around to this cover because the other cover is horrible. And again, I love this movie. It is Rennie Harlin, and if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Great cast. Lane Smith, who has passed away. He was Perry White in Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. And Viggo Mortensen, early role for him. But again, Richard Band is the music in this. Richard Band's an underrated composer. Actually works with Full Moon a lot. He's the brother of Charles Band. But I actually dig stuff. And of course, Psycho 4, The Beginning. Oh yeah, Rennie Harlin directed Prison. The one I just sewed up was Prison by Rennie Harlin. And if I remember correctly, Kane Hodder is a stunt person in this one. Like there's a sequence where we see the kind of this ghostly character, and that is like Kane Hodder. Like Kane Hodder did the stunt work. Do we have the Ultimate Edition of Legend? Actually, I do. Psycho 4. This was I think a Showtime like movie, but I really love this movie. I really do. Like some people don't, but I think like this is the genesis to what will become later Bates Motel, the TV series. It's very much like this. We go back to see like a young Norman Bates as played by Henry Thomas, you know, from E.T. fame. And what's really good about this for me though is like Anthony Perkins gets a satisfying conclusion to his character of Norman Bates. I think that you can watch all the Psycho movies, and you get the Psycho 4, and it's not as exciting maybe as some of the other ones, but his I love the conversation between him and the girl on the radio, and it just seems like the fitting conclusion to it, and so few films get that. Like have a character like they go on and pass their date and they do other things, but for me, Psycho 4 is like, yeah, that's the nice way to do, like to finish it off, and Perkins is still at the top of his game. Like Perkins was always like I haven't seen a bad Perkins role, and he was one of my idols like growing up when it came to acting, because like Perkins, I'm a skinny dude, and I appreciate that there's people out there like that were doing well. Now you want to see Psycho not at the top of its game? So this is a remake of Psycho. As a film fan and film student, I appreciate what it does. I appreciate it as a film school project. As a film, however, not so much. But that being said, I can watch it. They say shot for shot remake, but then they put in a couple extra shots there, some kind of artsy shots. Like the one with the really weird sequence. But it was like literally, Gus Van Sant. He had the stroke at the time to do whatever he wanted to do, and he wanted to do what literally probably should have been a film school project. Say, let's remake Psycho, pretty much shot for shot, and just see if Psycho was that big of a deal, or if lightning can be caught in a bottle twice. And lightning couldn't be caught in a bottle twice. See, I wasn't big on Vince Vaughn in the film. I didn't like some of his choices. It was brave of him to do it. Vince Vaughn's a fantastic actor, by the way. But it was way too early in his career, I think, to be taking on the role of Norman Bates. But yeah, I'm glad it exists for that fact. For like to say, okay, the shot for shot thing really didn't work that well. I don't think all the acting is bad. I thought Anne Heche was pretty good for what she had to do. I thought William H. Macy was really good in it, like as Abergast. But the original, you can't beat the original. Psycho's a classic. So it's for a lot of people say it's the OG slasher film, and it's well done. It's extremely well done. You just watched Night of the Creeps? Actually, I just talked about Night of the Creeps, man. It's worth a watch if you're a student of film. It's worth a watch. It's not a good film. I don't think so, because my cat was just running back there. Because the thing is that it's not the actors that kill the film; it's the directing choices. Like as a shot-for-shot remake, you would think it would be, yeah, I think it actually was Bruno. You think it would be like, hello, have you been into the catnip again? I know you have. Did you get up in the thing? You did. Did you? I know. So, did you see in the background? I didn't know until afterwards, but my cat got up there. I have three actually, Red. I have three cats. Scaredy, Bruno, and Hubert. I had five initially. Two have passed on. Wonderful cats. But I'm a huge animal lover. Did he show up in the background, by the way? Because apparently he got up into one of those cubes that was emptied out. So I'll have to look afterwards. If he did photobomb me, that's fantastic. I love that. But they have like a little bit of catnip, and every once in a while they get into it. They have the live. I think I do, but only on DVD. I need a Blu-ray of that one, actually. The Masters of the Universe. So a couple of my cats have passed, and it's sometimes it's good and sometimes it's hard when I'm watching an early video, and I'll see like one of my cats that I have that's no longer around, like in the video in the background. Sometimes it's hard, hurts my heart a bit, but other times I'm like, it's documented, it's there, and that's kind of special. So like I can be like, yeah, we had those times, and it's there and it's on camera, and I'm like, "Ah, I got you on camera. And then I wish I could have got them on camera more. You have 7 cats. See, my cats can't go outside. They're not outdoor cats. We tried once, it didn't work. All right, okay. I'm gonna finish out the other Scream Factory titles tomorrow. Just a few to finish off, and maybe I'll even go into some of the Kino. Don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. But we will do another one. This has been one of my big. What's catnip? Oh, you don't. So anyway, for people that don't have cats, so catnip is like it's a herb, really, but think of it like cocaine for cats. It's like it's not harmful. They play with it and they kind of bite into it and then they go a little nuts. Same thing, like you got mint. Mint also affect cats, so they go a little bit they get a little bit like stoned. That's what happens. They get your cat stoned in a good way. So, I am Aaron. This is my movie library. I got a ton of movies to put back. Thank you so much for joining me today. You are the call to cinema. You guys rock. Hopefully, if it's not tomorrow, it'll be Sunday. But hopefully, I'm going to be doing another movie, another video tomorrow. A movie length. This one is another video tomorrow where we'll finish out the Scream Factory. Maybe we're going to the Kino. Either way, there's lots more cool stuff coming up. Check out the August lineup for Vinegar Syndrome. Some really cool stuff, including the Pandemonium like cover. Check out the AGFA Limbo title, and 100% check out the Fun City title, Alpha City, because that is cool. I'll see you guys tomorrow, but right now it is time to break my back putting those movies back and have some tea and pet the cats for a bit. Talk to you later.